All right. Um, Please confirm you can see my screen. I just need like 3 or 4 confirmations, then I'll start. Awesome. Okay. For those of you that have downloaded Power BI, once you click on, okay, let me just quickly do that again. Click on the Windows icon and type Power BI. Then click on Power BI Desktop. Yes, recording will be shared. Angel, recording will be shared. You have access to recording. So you can listen, even if you don't have Power BI, enjoy yourself listening. So once you open Power BI, this is what you see. You see this landing page. And what you do is to click on blank report. Then it brings you to the Power BI interface. In earlier versions, you just see this blank page. Then you see create canvas. But now it's been updated. You can see add data to your report and everything. So
Sorry, coach. Your audio is a bit spotty. Your audio is a bit spotty. It's breaking up kind of. Maybe it's
how about now?
can you go again? Let's see. Try to say something.
Just a second. How about now?
It's still having that fluttery, wavy kind of sound. Maybe just try saying a full sentence and we'll probably know whether it is good now.
Okay. How about now? Can you hear me now?
Better,
Is
better.
it still the same? Oh, awesome.
It's better now. Awesome. All
Okay.
right.
All right. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay. So when you come here, you come to this landing page. Now, the first thing we need to do is to bring in the data. But before I bring in the data, let me quickly present what we want to do to you today. So it's a fictitious data, but I'm just going to draw up some business requirements that we're going to be working on. So we have a data set from um, a hotel management company, and they have a quarter end meeting coming up. And as the data analyst of that company, you've been tasked with producing a one-page report that captures all these requirements that you have here. As you can see, I said, present a single page report that captures the following business requirements for our quarter end meeting. We would like to have an interactive report. So this interactive is very important. That's the advantage of Power BI. The report is dynamic. You can filter and the report is going to respond to your filter live. So unlike PowerPoint presentation that you just show a static image, instead we would like to have an interactive report so users can filter based on what they want to see. So these are the requirements they mentioned. They want to see their total revenue. They want to see average rating, occupancy rates, RevPAR. It's a business acronym in the, it's a jargon related to the company. It's called revenue per booking. That's the meaning. We like to see the booking for all platforms. How is our occupancy on weekdays versus weekend? Show a breakdown of metrics by all our properties, and we would like to see a weekly trend of our revenue. And we've also been asked to include sliders for the following dimensions. So we're going to be building a report that captures all these requirements. So from time to time, we'll be going back to this requirements page to ensure that we are capturing the requirements. So this is what the data looks like. We have these tables. You can ignore this dim dates table. We're going to be creating this. I'm going to show you how to create a table on your own with code. It's also what we'll be doing today. So easily, and that's going to be very, very useful to you when you're working. Ability to create your own calendar lookup table on your own with query. I'm going to give you the query that I use. I'm going to send it to you guys, the query that I use. And yeah, you are going to use it if you are working as a Power BI developer or as a data analyst who uses Power BI, just keep that code handy. It's going to going to be very important to you. I use it almost all the time. I'm creating any reports. I use it for my calendar lookup table. So we have these 4 tables in what I sent to you in the Google Drive. So we're going to ignore this dim date because we're going to be creating it manually on our own. So we have these dim hotels with these following fields. Property ID, what it represents. So these ones are self-explanatory. The one I want to go into is this facts bookings, right? So there are 2 fields that I want to explain. We have revenue generated. Let me see if I can zoom in a little. Yeah, so we have revenue generated and revenue realized. So when people book, right, they say, oh, I want to book for 5 nights. You are charging, let's say, $200 per night. So immediately you know, oh, if this person comes in and uses 5 nights, I'm going to make $1,000. So that is what this revenue generated means. But it's possible the person can cancel. It's possible the person is just trying to book and the person does not eventually book. It's possible the person comes and the person asks for a refund. The person does not attend and asks for a refund. So revenue generated is the amount that was booked, the amount you got when they, but revenue realized is what you eventually get after the person checks out. Some people they would cancel, and this company they have a cancellation rate of 40%, right? If you book for 5 nights, for example, at a rate of $200 per night, and you paid $1,000, if you cancel, they will hold on to 40% of your money. They will return only $600. So revenue realized is the actual money the company made. So I explained this too because when we are doing our calculation, I'm going to be using one of these fields and I'll tell you why I'm using one of them. All right, enough of the story. Let's get straight into Power BI. So if you've downloaded those files, you save them in a folder and note the folder location where you've saved them. I know where I've saved mine and I'm going to be getting the data. Now, if you look at the data, you will see that it looks like an Excel file, but it's not Excel. It's called a CSV file. There's something we call CSV. Let me open up the participant. So I have my participants and chat box open here. So if you have questions, please just ask questions directly. I'll be monitoring the chats, or if you want to raise your hands, if you want to speak, raise your hands as well. I'll be monitoring the chat for questions. So the file is not an Excel file. It's called CSV. CSV means comma separated values. So it's not a typical Excel file. Excel has a limit of around 1,043 records. That's the number of rows Excel can get. So, but CSV can take more. And sometimes you see a lot of data analysts, they store their data in CSV rather than in Excel. So this file is a CSV file. It looks like the same Excel logo, but if you right click on it and go to properties, you see that it is a CSV file. And why am I mentioning it? When you want to bring in the data, you come to this page under this home tab. By default, you'll be in this home tab. That's where you'll be by default. But in case you miss your way, you don't know how to get back there, you just go to what? Home tab here. Once you click on this home tab, you see this get data, right? Click on get data and you see several options. We have Excel, Power BI, semantic models, data flows, Dataverse, SQL Server. In case you look at this and you still don't see where you want to get your data from, you can click on this what? More option. Then it will bring up this box here. Power BI can connect to, see, see all the data sources Power BI can connect to. Power BI can connect to a wide range of data sources. So that's what makes Power BI very, very special. And of course, it's a Microsoft product, right? Yeah, so you can easily integrate it to other Microsoft products that you have. So what we want to connect to is a CSV file. So we don't even have to come here to connect to CSV file. So if you go back to this get data, and you see this option that says text/CSV, that's the option you will select. So once you select this option, then we bring up this modal says, so you can navigate to where you put your data set. Some of you, maybe you just downloaded it. You would see, you see it in downloads, but I have it here in my own folder. So I want to bring in the first one. I want to bring in dim hotels, right? I want to bring in dim hotels. So let me bring in this dim hotels and click on what? Open. So once you click on that, it's going to bring up this box here. For now, let's just load the data. Let's bring everything in. Let's load everything. Then we'll go ahead and transform the data. So you click on load. When you click on load, you see the data, you see it's rolling and the data will come in. Sorry, Power BI is messing up a little. Let's try this again. Power BI is hanging. So let's click on get data, text/CSV, and let me bring in Dim Hotels. So this will load for a second. Then we click on what? Load data. So immediately you click on load data, look at this part, you see the data sets will come in here. Awesome. So we have our Dim Hotels table, but we are not working on it yet. We still want to bring in the rest of the data set. So someone says who prepares the CSV file. Yeah. So the company you're working with has the data set already. They give you the data sets they want to carry out an analysis on. But most of the time, you won't be working on. I mean, sometimes you have CSV files that are stored in SharePoint. You can connect to it. Sometimes, for majority of the time, you'll be working on SharePoint databases like SQL. You'll be connecting to that. So SQL is also one of the courses we'll cover in our data analysis bootcamp. You'll be connecting to SQL, connecting to different sources, but the data set is not going to come from you. It's going to come. There's some teams we call data engineers. They are the ones that prepare the data sets. If it's a big company, they will have data engineers that make the data set available for analysts like you or Power BI developers like you. Who have data engineers that make the data available. But it's not your responsibility to prepare the CSV file. So let's bring in the rest of the data sets. Click on text/CSV again. Let's bring in the second one, rooms. It's a really small data set. Let's load this one. Let's bring in fact aggregated bookings. Yeah, so somebody asked an interesting question. What if the data set isn't comma separated? What if it's tab or space separated? Yes, that's text/CSV option we are selecting. We undo data that fall into that category. We undo that data that we undo the data set that fall into that category. Question. Then let's bring in the last one, fact and bookings. Click on open. Click on load. So we've brought in the 4 samples we are interested in. We've brought it in. So awesome. Now that we've brought in the data sets, let's go ahead and transform the data. So before I click on transform the data, let me quickly answer this question. Then after answering this question, we'll work for the next 15 minutes. Then I'll answer questions again. Okay. So you said, is it the management/stakeholders that would tell you the insight they need? Yeah, so this is what happens. They will tell you, oh, I want to see this, I want to see this, I want to see this, I want to see this. Then you do what they want. But there are times you are supposed to do an exploratory data analysis. Like you've seen the data. For example, well, I'll give you an example. Where I was working before, Law Depot, it's like an e-commerce company, but we don't sell physical goods. We sell legal documents, right? So I look at the data and sometimes we create experiments. For example, we want to see, oh, this particular product that we've sold, let's say a lease agreement, for example. Oh, I did an analysis. It's called follow-up sales analysis. I looked at all those people that bought lease agreements documents from us. Most of the time, when I did what we call that follow-up sales analysis. Most of the time, when they buy lease agreements, they are always buying another product that is in that family of lease agreements because we categorize our products into families, right? So anybody that buys a lease agreement is always buying a follow-up product of either rental receipts or rental inspection form. You know, those lease related products is always what they're buying next. So I just did that exploratory data analysis. Nobody asked me. It's not part of my day-to-day work. I'm just trying to create more projects, more activities for myself. So I just did that exploratory data analysis. When I did that follow-up sales analysis, I saw that people that buy this products family, the second product they are buying is always from the same products family. So what did we do? Our price was around $33 for 1 month subscription. So we decided to do a bundled subscription. Instead of paying for the subscription that gives you access to our whole website, you can just pay $10 per month and have access to that product family. And guess what? We saw a huge jump in sales by selling that bundle subscription. For that experiment alone that we did, you made about $812,000. That's before I left the company. And they've not even launched the product. It was still at the experiment phase at that time. So they launched the product after I left. Once we launched the product, that was when I left the company. So that sometimes you do exploratory data analysis on your own. And that skill comes if you spend time with that data set. You've seen the data set, you understand how the data works. Yeah, you can get insights. But if you're a Power BI developer, right? Most of the time they'll just give you the requirements that they want. Oh, we want to see this, give us this. But if you're a data analyst, it's more than building Power BI reports. You will build Power BI reports. Sometimes you will just do analysis, exploratory data analysis, find relationship between things. Why is this? Is an increase in this affecting this? If this increases, will it cause an increase in this? You look at relationship between stuff and do a presentation, communicate your insights to stakeholders and see if they will act on your insights. For example, the one I did, I did the analysis and I gave them a presentation. I showed them and they were like, this makes sense. And they invested money in it. Do you understand? So sometimes you get direct requirements. Sometimes they will ask you to, you know, look at the data and see what you can come up with. So it depends on whatever team you are and whatever requirements you have at that moment. So that's how it is. Okay. Now we've loaded all the data. Let's go ahead and transform the data. So still under this home tab, can you see this button that says transform data? You click on it. If you want to see all the options that are there, you can click on this drop down and you see this data source settings, transform data. So we just click on the first one, transform data. Then it loads up this thing called Power Query. Now, this Power Query is not only in Power BI, it's also in Excel. So if you know Power Query here in Power BI, as I'm going to quickly show you, you already know you already know Power Query for Power BI, you already know Power Query for Excel because it's the same thing. And with this Power Query, it can change your Excel skill. Like, can take your Excel skill from let's say 20% to like 60% or 70% immediately, knowing Power Query, because you can automate a lot of things in your Excel. But when we are in the boot camp, we're covering Excel, SQL, and Power BI. I'm going to show you how to automate things on Excel as well. You know, all those things that you'll be doing manual calculation. If you see how you can automate it with Power Query and some other things, I will show you guys. But anyway, let's quickly do some transformation. So I didn't really want to have differences in my Power BI and yours. That is why I left the default settings. But ideally, what I do, I make sure Power BI does not do any transformation from me. And how can I say that Power BI has done some transformation? If you look at this right side, it's called applied steps. So automatically Power BI has applied 2 steps. This source, it is not a step. As you can see, if I put my cursor near this source, right? You can't see any X, this X button that is here. You can't see anything like that here. So this source is a default step. But Power BI has promoted the headers, it has changed the type. So any step you take in this space, that step is stored here. And if you want to cancel that step, just click on this X beside that step. To cancel the step, click on it. So normally I don't like Power BI to do anything for me. That sometimes Power BI will just, for example, if you have a field that is called phone number, right? Power BI will recognize it as a number, as a digit. But you'll be like, phone number, that's why they put number at the back now. It's supposed to be a digit. But no, phone number shouldn't be a digit. And let me tell you why. For people that have phone numbers that start with 0, because it's a digit, 0, 1 is the same thing as 1, right? So Power BI will take away that 0 and start with 1. So if you have a number that starts with 0134, Power BI will change it to 134. So for things like phone numbers, anything that is, even if it's a number that you don't intend to add together, you can't do you can't do phone number plus phone number now, right? You can't do it. So anything you cannot perform calculations on. When you want to use the data type, don't use number, use what? Alphabets for it. Use text. That's the best way. So Power BI will not automatically take away leading zeros from those fields. So for example, I've deleted all the steps. So I'm starting the step afresh. If you look at this, property ID is on line 1. Property name is on line 1. This is wrong. Property ID should be at the header section. All these ones in line 1, they should ideally be on what? The header section. So how can we do this transformation and move this one to the header section? It's very simple. You see under this home tab in Power Query, if you move towards the middle, after split column, after group by, you see this row that says use first row as headers. You click on it. Immediately, it moves up, right? And you can cancel the steps. Immediately I click use first row as header, Power BI is changing this thing for me. But I can also, please remind me, I can also show you how to configure your Power BI that it does not do this automatic transformation for you. It's very important if you are working as a professional. Don't let Power BI do the transformation for you. It can mess you up. It can assume for you and do a transformation that you don't want. So remind me to show you how to turn it off. Okay. So immediately I use first row as headers. Can you see that the headers move from this row one, it move to the header position? And you can also do it this way. Another way is to do it is to right click. Look at this box here at the top right. Right click on it, and you see the second option that says what? Use first row as headers. You click on it. It's going to achieve the same thing, right? It's going to achieve the same thing. So now this property ID, if you look at it, it looks like digits. We want it to be in digits, right? Don't change it to, it looks like digits. Want it to be in text. Don't change it to all numbers. Don't. Let it be in text. I can't say property ID this one plus property ID this one. It does not make sense. So leave it as what? ABC. And in case you want to change something from digits to text and everything, can you see this ABC just right beside the header? If you click on it, you can change it to decimal. You can change it to any of this. You can change it to dates if you need. But this one, we are going to leave it as ABC, which is what? Text. Property name, by default, you can know that the property name should be in what? Text. Category should be in text. City should be in text. And by that, we are done with the transformation for the dim hotels table. Next table is to move to what? Dim rooms. Same thing. Room ID is on line 1. Room class is on line 2. What do we need to do? Let me delete the previous steps that have been done. What do we need to do? We need to move these ones to the header position. So like I said, you can do it in 2 ways. You can click on home here and you see use first row as headers here. Or you can right click here and say use first row as headers. As you can see, both of them are already in text formats, and this is what we want them to be in. It's correct. So we go to facts aggregated bookings. Let's delete all the previous steps as well. So let's use first row as headers. Really, we use the first row as headers. You can delete that change type steps that appears automatically. You can delete that. We want property ID to be in ABC. Now, can you see check-in date is in ABC? This is wrong. This check-in date is a date field. This check-in date is a date field. So if I do it this way, it's not going to really work. It's not really going to work. But anyways, so when you're watching the video, you can zoom in your screen, share you understand. So you'll be able to see it better. So you'll be able to see it better. Yep. Yeah, thank you. So check-in date is currently on ABC. You can change this to what? Change this to uh date format. And how do you do that? Just click on that ABC beside it. Or another way is you can right click on the header. Click on the header, right click on it. And you see this option that says change type. And you can change it to what? Dates. Make sure you don't select what? Date time. Change it to what? Date. So you can right click on it and click on change type. Or you can just click on that ABC beside it and change it to what? Dates. You're good. This room category is okay as RT1. Successful bookings is showing as ABC. Somebody should put in the chat, what do you think this data type should be? Let me click on this so you can see all the data type option. These successful bookings, what do you think the data type should be changed to? Look at the options that are available. Somebody put in the chat, let me see. What do you think we should change the data type to? Awesome. Can we get O number? Correct. So you change this one to what? O number. Then the same thing for capacity, right? Change it to what? O number. So capacity is O. On this particular day, how many rooms were available? We had 30 rooms available. How many rooms were booked? What? We had what? 25. And this is successful bookings, not bookings that they made and they later canceled. This is successful bookings. That is bookings that were made that were actually fulfilled. So so that means out of the 30 rooms, 25 were booked. And the reason I'm explaining both, you'll see it when we are doing our calculations. And lastly, let's go to fact bookings. Let's delete all the steps as well. Yeah, booking ID is okay for text. Property ID is okay as text. Booking dates, check-in dates, checkout dates. Three of them are dates, right? Instead of changing them to dates one by one, you can change them together. And how do you do it? If you select one, press down your control key on your keyboard. Select the second one. Still holding down your control key, select the third one. So you can select three of them together. Since I want to change three of them to dates, then now you won't be able to use this ABC, because if I click on this ABC, it will unselect all of them. See, can you see it has unselected everything? So let's do that again. Select the first one, hold down your control key. Select the second one, hold down your control key. Still holding down your control key, select the third one. What will you now do? So what will you do? You do what? You right click and go to what? Change type and change it to what? Dates. Immediately change the three of them to dates. So that sometimes you want to change several columns together the same time. You can select all of them and do the change on your own. So I know when you are working, when you are seeing people talking about data analysis, they say, oh, data transformation, data this. See, data transformation is just like the name is just fine and everything. This is what we are doing. Changing, I mean, there could be some more complex transformations than this, but this is what we call data transformation. Changing the type correctly, renaming columns, making the columns better for analysis. That's what we call data transformation. And you hear people talk about records in data analysis. These columns, right, is what we call fields. So anytime you hear fields, it's the same thing as what? Columns. Anytime you hear rows, these rows is the same thing as what? Records. So fields are columns, rows are records. So the way you can remember R for records, R for rows, then fields and columns. So if you can just try to remember, because you see people using it interchangeably, they'll say, oh, records, how many records are there? They are simply asking you how many rows are in the table. So let's look at the rest of the data set and see if they are all okay. Ratings. Now, somebody put it in the chat. What do you think we should give? Okay, we are not done yet. Number of guests. Number of guests should also be what? O number, right? Number of guests should be O number. Room category is fine. What should we give ratings? Let me open it so you can see the options. What should we give ratings? Quickly put in the chat. I need 2 or 3 answers, then we'll move on. What should we give ratings? What kind of? Okay. Somebody said percentage, decimal. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Whitney, choose one. Is it percentage or decimal? Choose one. Choose one. Don't sit on the fence. Okay. Yeah, it's correct. It's decimal. We're going to choose decimal. So the rating is on a scale of 1 to 5. Can you see? 1 being the smallest, 5 being the largest. So it's on a scale of 1 to 5, and we're going to pick decimal. Then the booking status is okay as text. I think 2 more things we need to do. Revenue generated and revenue realized. This is revenue. Anytime you are dealing with money in Power BI, the best data type to use is what? This one that has this dollar symbol, fixed decimal. For money, for anything that has to do with currency, maybe profits, revenue, sales, or anything, when you are working with Power BI, use what? Use fixed decimal. So I can just select both of them together and right click on this, change type to what? Fixed decimal. And here you can see the dollar logo on the top. So with this, we are done with our data transformation. So you've added something, you've added bringing in data. So I don't know if you've heard this thing before, ETL. ETL is another word they use a lot in data. It's another acronym they use a lot in data analysis. ETL. What does it mean? It means extract, transform, and load. What you've done is ET, right? You've extracted the data, you brought in the data, right? But there's another thing we call ELT. So some people use ETL in their company. Some people use what? ELT. It's the same thing. They just switched the alphabets. ETL means extract, transform. You extract the data, you transform it, and you load it. ELT, you extract the data, you load it, then you transform it. So what we've done is ELT actually, because after bringing in the data, we loaded it first. Then we came here to transform it. So, but now that we've transformed it, we'll click on what? We'll take it back to Power BI. So you can say, oh, I know how to do ETL. I know how to do data transformation. Just with this class, you can do data transformation. You can load data into Power BI. You can do ETL, right? And we'll also be doing some, some calculations here that I'm going to be talking about. We'll be using the language called DAX. DAX is DAX. It's a short form for what? Data analysis expression. I'm going to show you how to write that. DAX is the most feared part of Power BI. That is the most feared part, but it's very, very easy, especially now that you have what? ChatGPT. It's very, very, very easy. So I'm going to, those DAX formulas that I'll be writing, I'll teach you how to write it. Then I'll now teach you how to use ChatGPT to write. You don't even have to remember anything. Just know how to speak your normal English or whatever language you can speak. And ChatGPT will give you the formula perfectly. We're going to demonstrate it here and you see what I'm saying. So once we are done with this, ensure you are still under the home section. And you see this close and apply, click on the drop down arrow. You see three options. First one is close and apply. Close and apply means close this page, apply the changes, and let's move to Power BI. Because you're currently on Power Query, if you remember. The second one, apply, means apply the changes that I've made, but I still want to remain on this Power Query window and still be working. Then the last one, close. If you click on close, it will not apply all the changes that you've made. It will just close and return you to where you started from. So what you want to do is what? Close and apply. So you click on that drop down arrow. So if you don't click on that drop down arrow, if you just click on this body generally, the default settings is close and apply. That's what it will do. So you can click on this drop down arrow, click on close and apply, or just click on the body itself. It will close and apply. So, but I usually have this fear. After I've done a lot of work, I'm always skeptical on clicking that close and apply. So I'll just click on that drop down and click close and apply on my own. Because imagine you've worked for like 3 hours doing transformation or 2 hours doing transformation, then you go and close and it does not apply. So I usually click on that drop down and click on close and apply. Let me see what I'm clicking. So that's what I usually do. So now we are done. We'll go to a page called data model view. We'll do something we call data modeling. Now, I'm mentioning some skills that you mentioned. So when you want to post this thing on your LinkedIn, when you want to showcase yourself, you learned ETL, you learned data modeling, you learned how to use DAX, you learned data modeling. So data modeling is what I'm going to show you now. So on this your Power BI page, this first page here, if you go to this left, it's called report view. The second one is called table view. Table view allows you to see your data the way you see your data on Excel. Let me click on it. So if you see Dream Hotels, you can see your data the way you see it in Excel. But unlike Excel, you cannot click and write inside. No, it does not allow it. So if you want to see your data like the way you see your data in Excel, you come to this second one that says table view. Then this third one is called model view. That is where we'll do our data modeling. And data modeling. What does this sound? I remember when I started, when people say, oh, data transformation, data mining, data modeling, those things look so big. I'll be like, what does it mean? See, if I tell you what data modeling means, you'll be like, so this is data modeling. So there's something they call fact and dimension, and they made it very easy in this naming convention. Fact, all these tables are called fact. Can you see fact table? And some are called dim. This dim means dimension. And let me quickly, I wasn't going to go to this, but let me quickly explain what it means. Fact and dimension. Dimension tables, they give you descriptive information. For example, I'm working in an e-commerce store. We have a table called sales table. We have a table called products table. Products table is our dimension table because it gives you information about the products. Like it tells you the product's name, the year the product was made, the color of the product, the manufacturer, the weight of the product. You know, it gives you information, descriptive information about that product. So we call it dimensions table. Some people call it what? Lookup table. So anything that gives you descriptive information is called a dimension table. But fact table is something that gives you information that can be aggregated, that can be summed, that you can perform calculations on top. I can't say, for example, on the product dimension table, they give us color. I can't say yellow plus green. I can't add the information I'm giving in the products table, in the product dimension table. But like the sales table, you can see your revenue there. You can see your profit there. You can see everything. So a table that has data that can be aggregated is your facts table. It contains transactional information. But a table that contains descriptive information is called your dimensions table. So in most data warehouses, because you're not a data engineer, you won't be working with those. In most data warehouses and everything, where you'll be getting data from, they will label them dimension and fact. So if you see DIM, you know that, oh, this table is for information. If you see fact, you know that this table is for what? Calculations. So let's do it here. Power BI is very smart. It can already pick the relationship between these two tables. Let me delete it so we can do it on our own. So normally, if I'm working on Power BI, I would have turned off these settings. I don't like Power BI to pick things for me. I like to do it on my own. Sometimes when Power BI is doing it for you automatically, it can mess you up. But these days, they've really improved. It's been doing an amazing job. But I'll tell you the limitation now. Look at it. This dim table, data modeling is connect the facts and the dimensions table based on fields that they have in common. Now, let me zoom in so you can see this. I can zoom in here, so let me zoom in here. Now, look at this dim hotel table and this facts aggregated bookings table. Can somebody put in the chat these are the columns: category, city, year, capacity, check-in date. Can somebody put in the chat what they have in common? What field? When I say field now, I mean column. What field do they have in common? Property ID. Awesome. So you will now, do you know what you would do? There are two ways to do this. You will now drag this property ID, click on it, press it down, drag it, and drop it on property ID. It will now bring up this box to tell you, oh, I see you're trying to do property ID on can you see the first table? From table, dim hotels, because that's where we started from, to table, facts aggregated bookings. And it's selecting property ID, property ID, property ID. Now I see this is what you want to do. One to many. Is that what you want to do? You say, so Ekong, that's not mapping. That's not mapping. It looks like the idea of mapping, but it's not mapping. Mapping is making sure you match columns from different tables. Here, by just joining a single column. Mapping is trying to, maybe you want to move this table from here to here, and you want to make sure I'm moving property ID to property ID. I'm moving city to city. You are making sure you're moving the same field from one table to another field on the same table. That's what mapping is, trying to match all the columns that are correct together. So this one is called data modeling. They're trying to connect the table. So property ID to property ID, and the cardinality should be what? One to many. Cardinality is a concept I don't want to go into that. It might take us time because I want us to start doing the fun stuff, the calculations, the design, and everything. So I want us to start doing it now. One to many, make sure if since you are joining from dimension table to fact, if the dimension table is the one on top and the fact table is the one below, one to many is the appropriate relationship. So you click on save. That is what we want. Good. You now see a line. Can you see that on the dimension table, 1 is there. On the fact table, star is there. This is how you can confirm that this is what 1 to many. Awesome. The same thing, if you look at theme table and fact bookings, what do they also have in common? Look at it very well. What do they have in common? Awesome. Property, they also have property ID in common. So you click on property ID, drag the same way and drop. Now, and I mistakenly drop from property ID. I drop it on number of guests. Can I change it? Can you see from property ID joining it to one number of guests? It's not making sense. So you can just easily change it to whatever field you want to drop it to. So immediately before I drop the number of guests, but I can just switch it to what? Property ID. Once I switch the property ID and I click on what? Save. So in case you mistakenly drop it to another place, you can change to whatever field you want. Flo, I'm asking you to unmute. You can unmute, please. If you're talking, we can't hear you. I think I've unmuted you. Okay, we can't hear you if you're talking. I've unmuted you, but we can't hear you. Um, Goodness, I don't think I understand your question. Do you want to unmute and quickly ask? Yeah, so raise your hand so I can unmute you. Let me look for you in the chat quickly. Okay, I've yeah, you can.
Yes, yes. You
Yeah, you
you
can talk.
said for example, so I was asking, I said, what if you go back, you cancel it, maybe you drop the property ID on the there's where you dropped it. I'm sorry, let me
Okay,
close
let me
this.
see. Drop the property ID
On the
on
no
maybe
guest, yes, number of guests.
number of guests.
Yeah, so
So
can I
like
cancel it instead of
yeah, you can cancel. Yeah, you can cancel. You can cancel.
okay, okay,
Yeah, you
thank you.
can cancel and do it accordingly. Yeah, whichever one you find more comfortable. So okay, awesome. Um, so now can you see Power BI is acting smart? It quickly gave us, oh, I can see property ID, I can see property ID, and Power BI did something smart for us. But what if can you see how can it join this dimension rooms table to these tables? Can you see Power BI is now like, oh, I've done the one I can do. Yeah, do the rest on your own. Power BI has abandoned you. And I'll tell you why Power BI abandoned you there. Look at this dimension rooms table. It has this room ID and room class. Look at this fact aggregated table. What do you think they have in common? See the room ID here, RT1, RT2. It's similar to this room category, RT1, RT2, RT1. Can you see? It's similar. So that is where you will join them together. So there are sometimes the fields that are common don't have the same name on the tables. But most of the time, when you are working as a data analyst, they will tell you there's something they call, there's usually like a documentation on the tables that will tell you what tables are connected together and it will tell you the columns, the fields you can use to connect them together. So if you see this room category table here, you can see RT1, RT2, RT3, right? If you go to this fact aggregated table, you can see its room category is the equivalent, is the field that has the same value. So they are connected together on room ID is room category here. So this is not the data dictionary. Data dictionary will show you this thing that I showed you here. That shows you the column description that explains what each of the column means is your data dictionary. For example, look at this one, dim rooms. This column represents the type of room, RT1, RT2, RT3 in the hotel. Good. If you go to category, room category. Can you see? This column represents the type of column room, RT1, RT2, RT3. So, if you've seen the data dictionary, you'll be able to know that, oh, these are the fields they have in common. So you can see that what they have in common. So you know that when you're joining these two tables, you join them together. Room ID, join it to what? Room category. And if you look at fact bookings, it also has what? Room category. So you know that when you want to join your table, you join this room ID to what? Room category on both tables. And that is what we are going to quickly do. So this room ID, I'll drag it, drop it on room category. The same thing, one to many, that's correct. Sorry. Okay, and room ID, let's scroll down. Room categories at the bottom. Let me zoom out so I can capture everything at the same time. So room ID, I join it to what? Room category. Awesome. So we've joined all our fact tables to our dimensions table. So this thing that we just did now is what we call what? Data modeling. That data modeling that you've probably been hearing about, this is what we call data modeling. This is what we call data modeling. Now let's go to I told you I'm going to give you a formula for building calendar table, right? So I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to write the formula or anything. So I'm just going to copy and paste the formula. I'm just going to copy and paste the formula. So now I want to create a new table called calendar table. I want to create it from scratch, and I'll show you. So let's go to our table view, right? Let's go to our table view.
Coach, it has started being wavy again. The audio has started wavy again.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, better now. Thank you.
Now, let's go to our table view, and I'll show you how to create a table using formula from scratch. Flo, on us, I asked you to unmute, but we couldn't hear you the last time. So let me quickly create this calendar table, then I'll take questions. I'll take questions for some minutes, then we'll go ahead and do our design and everything. So let me quickly build this calendar table. So to build a table from scratch, it's called a calculated table. Why is it called a calculated table? We didn't bring in the table from a data set. We want to use formula to calculate the table. And this is what's going to happen. So once you come to this, by default, we are usually on this report page. So you click on this table view and click on what's new table. You click on what? New table. So I'm going to place the formula here. So the name of the table is stream dates. And what I've basically done is to use calendar auto to create this table. And we say, give us the year, the week number.
Coach, we've gone to wavy audio again.
Just a second, let me change my headsets. I think this headset is making this. Just a second, let me change my headsets, please.
All right, thank you. Yes, Flo, you can ask questions. We tried unmuting you the last time, but you were not able to say, we didn't hear from you. So, Flo, I can unmute
Please, can you hear me?
Flo, is that you?
No, that's me. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
We can hear you now.
Okay. I'm going to post this formula Okay, said I can't see where to the new table is. Okay, let me do that again. So by default, you're on this page here, right? By default, you're on this page here. So you click on this table view. Once you click on this table view, right? Once you click on this table view, click on new table. Here, this option, new table. From here, if you move to report view, click on what? New table. Once you click on new table, then it brings this formula bar for you. So there's a formula I'm going to paste in the chat, okay? So just paste the formula here. I'm going to paste the formula in the chat now, right? Just paste this formula here. And once you paste it here and click on enter. So I'm going to teach you guys, maybe in the class, I'm going to teach you how to, it's just a simple logic, and ChatGPT can create this thing for you as well. So I'm going to show you that demonstration after the class. So now that we created the table using this formula, we can see the dates, see the year, the week number, day of the week, day type. So yeah, I'm going to show you this, and let's start building. So let me take questions now before we start doing our designs. That's the fun part, the calculations and the design. That's the fun part. So let me take questions now. If you have any questions, I think Flo was trying to ask a question, but we can't hear him or her. I don't know if it's a lady or man. Are there any questions, please? If there are no questions, we can proceed. Go ahead with the design, then we'll take questions at the end. We can't hear you, Flo. We can't hear you at all.
Coach, you can just go ahead, please.
Okay. So
can you hear me now?
Oh, finally, we can hear you.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with my system. So I don't know. I don't want to bring you back. The data modeling, you were dragging like from one cell, maybe like the property ID from the one up the top and the lower down. Can you do it vice versa? It doesn't matter how you drag it. Is it from the down to the top or top to the down? It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter how you do it. Power BI is smart enough to recognize where the one side of the relationship is and where the many side of the relationship is. So it doesn't matter where you start from. So when we drag it, you saw one to many in the cardinality part. If you drag it from bottom to up, it will turn to what? Many to one. It's still the same thing. It's okay. We are fine with it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. So now I was talking about calculations. When we want to create calculations in Power BI, I like to put it in a separate container. I like to put it in a separate container. So when you want to refer to it, you can easily see where all your calculations are sitting. So how do I create that container? It's very, very easy. Is what we are here on this home tab. You are not going anywhere. Just click on this one that says enter data. Click on this one that says what? Enter data. Margaret, you said you can't. Oh, you might not have. You might not have the. You know what? Just a second. Let me see. Let's do something so we can all get it. Let me do something quickly. So we don't want to discourage those that are following. If you've been following so far, we don't want this table to discourage you. So let me put this in downloads. So I'm going to share a link quickly. So that link you can easily download. That file. Okay, let me put in new file.
I also copied it and put in a Word document.
Yeah, I put it in a Word document.
I have sent it to them. I've sent it to them.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, awesome. So see if you can download it, and yeah. copy it.
So can you download the Word document, guys, and then copy it from there? If you can copy it from the chat. Thank you. Okay, I think they got it now. So coach, you can
Awesome.
move.
Okay, that's good. It's also here for anyone that wants to use the okay, so let's continue. So I like to put my measures. That calculation in Power BI is called measures, right? It's called measures. And we get those measures with something we call DAX, D-A-X, DAX. DAX is short form for what? Data analysis expression, DAX, D-A-X. And I like to put it in a separate container so that I can refer to all my calculations in a single bucket. I don't have to look across the tables where I stored the calculations. And this is how to do it. Under this home tab, come to what? Enter data. So you give the container, this is the container. I tell you to create a table, a container that is going to house all your calculations. So I usually start with a symbol. Any symbol can work. And why do I use symbols? It's nothing really. It's just that this table here on the right is arranged alphabetically in alphabetical order. So once I put this hash or any symbol I put, I see people using underscore. I worked in several places. People use different symbols. I like using hash. So to make the measures table appear at the top, because I like seeing it at the top. I don't have to look for it across the all the data sets that we have. So I like putting a symbol in front so it will appear at the top. Then once you do that, change the name to whatever you want to call it. But I usually call it hash measures. Some people call it hash DAX, whatever you want. Then click on load. So immediately you see the table to load up here, then it will appear at the top. This is where we are going to write all our formulas. Now, the first formula we want to calculate is how many bookings do we have in our company? How many bookings do we have? Come to this table. Come to fact bookings. Look at booking ID. This table, this booking ID every row here represents a single booking that was made. Forget calculation now. Forget calculation. How do you think we can know the number of bookings? I want you to speak in normal English. Forget formula, forget Power BI. How do you think we can get the number of bookings that we have here? What do you think? What do you think should be our approach? We want to know the number of bookings. In plain English, how should we get the bookings? How do you think we should get? Yeah, because each row here represents a booking. If you count the number of rows here, we will know the number of bookings that we have. Simple. Since you have this idea that is count, see, everything, if I give you everything we are going to do here, you can use ChatGPT to finish everything. You will just know how to prompt ChatGPT correctly. So I'll show you the first information you need to put before you start asking ChatGPT questions. So I'm going to show you that after. Maybe we will do 90% of the measures with the normal way. Then the remaining 10%, I'll show you how we can use ChatGPT to quickly achieve that. Okay, so under these measures that we've created, make sure you right-click on it. Right-click on that measures table. Make sure you right-click on that measures table and click on what? New measure. I'm going to do it again. That measures table that we created, right-click on it and click on what? New measure. Right? So let me zoom in this so we can see the formula I'm writing. So once you right-click on it and click, it will give you this formula bar where you can type in your formula. So what name can we give the bookings? We can call it what? Total bookings. We can call it total bookings. I like to put them together so that this is just the practice. This is just what I do. I like to write them together. So to make it easier to read, make each word, the starting letter of each word to be in capital letter, to be in uppercase. So I say total bookings equal to. Now, you said you want to count, right? What do you think will be the formula for counting in Power BI? It's also count. Very, very simple. It's also count. So you just type count, and you can already see Power BI has given it to you. So you just click on it. that yes, I want to count, you click on this formula, count. Right? Now, what do you want to count? Do you remember the name? Do you remember the name of that column? It's called booking ID, right? So I'll type booking. Immediately I type booking, you don't even need to know how the name was spelled. Just if you have an idea, probably I will give you suggestion that, oh, is this what you want to count? So once I type booking, as you can see a lot of booking, there's booking this, there's booking platform, there's booking status. Booking ID. So you click on what? Booking ID. Then you close your brackets. Very simple. I'm leaving this formula on the screen for like 10 seconds. We count booking ID. Once we do that, just press enter. Let's go to our table view. As you can see the values for dates, as you can see the values for hotel, let's click on measures. We don't see anything. Why? I'll tell you. Measures don't live on the table like the data sets. They don't take space. It's just a calculation. So measures is like, oh, it's not really existing. What it's doing is that it's showing you the data in a way that you have organized it. That, oh, I've organized it in this way. I want to count it. So it's still the same data that it is using, but it's just showing you in a way. It's just like a screen to see a particular movie you want to see, right? The movie itself is not sitting on your TV. The TV is just a platform for you to see where the movie is stored. The movie is stored in Netflix cloud. Netflix cloud. It's stored in maybe on your whatever platform you are watching it from. That's where the movie is stored. But you're just using your screen to have access to it. That's the same thing this measure is doing. The screen that you've created is total bookings. So it's still looking at this booking ID that is here. It's still what it's looking. It's still what it's looking at. But it's just helping you look at it in a different way. So the data is not living on the table on its own. So how we've counted it, how can we see it? How can we see the data? Very simple. That is where the design comes in, all these visuals that you have here. So you can pick any one of them. I can pick, for example, this card visual. Can you see this one that says 1, 2, 3? If you come to this visualization pane, first one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one. The fifth item on the fifth item here, the fifth row, the first item there. If you click on it, right? And now make sure you are selecting it and select the total bookings that you just calculated. You will see the total bookings. Can you see? They have 135K. This 35K is in what? Is in thousands. And it's possible you don't want to have it in thousands. You want to have it full. You want to have it in full. You can click on this total bookings here. Click on the measure here. Maybe you want to see the value fully displayed, right? Just click on this visual here. Once you click on this visual, make sure you've selected the visual. Come to this middle here. This one that says format. If you click on it, you see format your visual, right? Click on it. So there are two items here, callout value, callout label. The 135K is your callout value. The total bookings is your callout label, right? So you can click on the callout value. You can adjust it as you want, the same way you adjust things in Microsoft Word. I can reduce the font size to maybe 25. Can you see it has reduced? Maybe 25 is too small. Let's leave it at 30. I can change the color of I can change it to any color that I want. But for now, let's leave it at black. And now, if you go to just under the formatting, you see display unit. It's currently on auto. I can change this. I can click on that drop down and change it to none. Now, I don't summarize it for me. Display it in full. Can you see? 134,590. This is good. Then we are done. Sometimes this might not be very, very easy to read. Is it 134,000? Is it 13,000? People might not be able to tell at a glance when they see it. And your report should communicate insights at a glance. You don't want people to start using biro, to point biro on your screen and start counting how many figures are there. No. So you click on it. How can you make it comma separated? That measure that you created, that total bookings, click on it. Once you click on it, it will bring up this this tab called Measure Tools. And you can see something that looks like what you do in Excel and Microsoft Word. You just click on this comma that you see here, click on it. You should just add the comma here, and that's all. You can see our total book is easier to read this way with this comma separation, 134,590. That's good. Now, let's go back to our requirements page. They ask for, even before total bookings, they ask for what? Revenue as well. I just showed us that total booking for demonstration. Let's look at total. Another thing they said you should calculate is what? Revenue. Let's go. Now, I want to ask you a question. I want to know the revenue the company made, right? If you remember, we have revenue generated, we have revenue realized. Which of these fields do you think, based on the explanation I gave in the beginning, which of these fields do you think we should use to calculate our revenue? Put it in the chat. Which of these fields should we use to calculate our revenue? Awesome. So revenue realized is the actual money that came to the company's pockets, because revenue generated is what the amount they got in bookings, but does not translate to what they will actually get. So revenue realized is what we do. And how do you think we can get the revenue realized? What formula do you think we should use? Should we count it? Yeah, I can't say I can't count it. It doesn't make sense. You have to sum it up. Total, yeah, total sum. So addition, whatever, semantics, everything, addition, total, sum. That's what you want to do. And it's very, very simple. The same way we did. So we just go to this, our new measures buckets that we created. Right click on it again, the same way we did. Right click on it and click on what's new measure. Now, let's call it what? Revenue. Right? Let's call it revenue. And what do you think the formula for, whether it's addition, whether it's plus, whether it's sum, whether it's what's the other thing that they say, total? What do you think the formula should be? Can you guess? What do you think? It says summation sign, okay. What do you think the formula, how do we tell add? No, you are wrong. Victoria, sorry, you are wrong 2 times. Sum, exactly. Sum, just type sum. Immediately Power BI gives you sum. Easy. Then what do you want to sum? You want to sum revenue realized. So if I just type revenue, it will give me everything that has revenue in it. Let me zoom out a little so you can see the name in full. So can you see the first one? Revenue generated, revenue realized. So we are picking the second one, revenue realized. And that's all. Close your brackets. You are done. Revenue realized. And as usual, we want to see the revenue, right? So let's click on any of these. Let's click on, but this time I want to use the same card visual. So to make it easier to see our page, there's something I usually like to do, because this card is white, this page is white. It's not easy to see the demarcations. I don't want to use borders for now. So what I usually do, click on anywhere in this page, click on an empty part, then click on this second button that says format your report page, right? Once you click, make sure you click outside. Don't click any visual. Click outside. Click on this part. Once you click on this part, it says canvas background, right? Click on the arrow beside it and click on color. It's not very important. You can leave your own as you want. So I want to click on this light gray color. And once you click on it, nothing will happen because the transparency is at 100%. So if you turn down the transparency, you see, so it's now like gray. It's like gray. So I like it. It's easier to see my visuals better. So that revenue that we did, to see it, let's click on any of these visual. You can click on anything here, but we are using the card visual again. So it's the 5th item. It's on the 5th row, the first item on the 5th row. Card visual. Click on this and click on what? Revenue. Once you make sure you select it, right, and click on what? Revenue. As you can see, the revenue is 1.17 billion. Looks okay. Somebody said, what if I change my mind and use another card visual from the one I previously used? I don't know what you mean by the one you previously used, but Okay, you want to change, you want to use another, yeah, you can use anything. But we don't have a lot of card visuals. We have other visuals like, for example, look at table. If I click on table, for example, look at this table visual. I can view many at the same time. I can click on revenue, click on total bookings. Can you see? Let me see if I can zoom in. Revenue, bookings. So I can use this one as well, right? I can use this one as well. So say the question you asked, you directed it to host and panelists. So in case of next time, you can direct it to everyone so everyone can see your question. For example, I'm the only one that can see your question now. So direct it to everybody so everybody can learn from it. Okay, so I'm going to delete this one. So you can, like I said, you can use other visuals here to see what you want. So let's reduce this one as well. Let's reduce this one as well. So you select the visual, click on this middle button. As you can see, we have callout value, we have callout label. We are interested in this big one. This big one is callout value, right? Click on the arrow beside it. Let's change this to the same font size. It's always good to maintain the same font size for the same kinds of visual. It makes your visual very, very neat. So I think we used 30 the last time. Let's use 30. If you decide to use none for this one, it's too big. So I think it's okay the way it was approximated, the way it was contracted to 1.7B. I think it's okay that way. So we can, so this one, for example, this one is a count. This one is like an amount. So we can't, it just doesn't make sense. And you see why it doesn't make sense. Because there's no way I can reduce this card to have the same size with this one. And the way to make your visual look okay, if you're using similar kinds of visual, it's always nice when they have the same size. And there's no way I can make this size the same with this. So I will return it back to that auto. And let's give us this value this way. So I can reduce the size to the same thing like this. Awesome. Now, let's go back to the requirements. They also said we should calculate what? Average rating. Average rating. Awesome. Average ratings. So let's right click on that measure, new measure. The formula is going to load up. Yeah, let me zoom in a little. This time around, let's call it average rating. Once you type what you want to name it, average rating, yeah, press your equal sign. What do you think is the formula for calculating average? Just like the name, is average. So this, even without ChatGPT, that is not hard, right? But with ChatGPT, makes it very, very simple. So average, what we want to calculate is the average of rating. So if you type rating, you can already see ratings given. Just select this one and close your brackets. The ratings is on a scale of 1 to 5. So if you want to see the average rating, let's select this card visual as well, because we want to use card visual to display everything here, and select your average rating. And as usual, I want to make it small like this. Now that I've spent time to change this one, to design it, to change the rating and to change the size, the font size and everything, because sometimes you change the font size, change the color, and change everything again. And you don't want to you don't want to start over for this card visual. You can copy everything you did here on this. How can you do that? Select the one that you like. And under this home tab, you see this format painter, right? Click on this format painter. Immediately you click on it, it will turn to a brush. Now apply that brush here. Can you see it has automatically changed the size? Let me Control Z. Can you see it was big before? If I select this, click on format painter and apply it here, it has changed the size too. So let's say I changed the color of this one. I've done a lot of formatting and I want all the formatting to apply here. That's what I'll just do. So I use it to save time. So we've done it for average rating. And let's look at it again. Now, they said occupancy rates, revenue per booking. So I'm going to, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back and forth on this. So let's look at these two. Occupancy rates, revenue per booking, and occupancy rate. Awesome. Revenue per booking and occupancy rate. And there's one more that we'll do. Okay, revenue per booking and occupancy rate. So revenue per booking, the formula might not be very straightforward, but it's all the, let's say we made, let me use a normal example. Let's say we have 10 customers. And from those 10 customers, we made $500,000. Or we made from those 10 customers, we made $500. $500. If they say what's our revenue per customer, how do you think you can calculate it? If there's a metric called revenue per customer, we have 10 customers and we made $500 from them. What is our revenue per customer? That is, what is the value of one customer for us? The way that is calculated is exactly 500 over 10. The revenue you made divided by the number of customers. So you say, oh, each customer is worth $5, is worth $50, right? So revenue per customer. So that's what they have asked you to calculate. So this time around, it's going to be, how do you think we can apply it in this sense? We know the revenue. What's going to represent our total, this thing here, bookings, right? So they say, what is our revenue per? Revenue per means what? Revenue per booking. Just like, this per means what? Slash. So you can easily even get it from the name. So revenue over bookings. We've calculated our revenue. We've calculated our bookings. So to get our rev per, which is revenue per booking, is just do revenue divided by bookings. So let's start with that one. So if I click on that measure, click on new measure. Very, very simple, right? Let's call it rev per, like they called it, revenue per booking, right? And we'll say, so there's a formula called divide. That's the name of the formula we use. So divide will tell you what is the numerator, what is the denominator. Numerator, for those that don't know, I'm not shading anybody. Numerator means what is on top. Denominator means what's under. And Power BI has done a fantastic job. They mentioned the numerator first. So numerator is what is on top, what's under. Denominator is what is under. And like you said, revenue per booking. So revenue is on the top. Bookings will be under. So we've already calculated revenue, we've already calculated bookings. So for you to, because if I type revenue now, right? If I type revenue, see, can you see the revenue? Anytime you see something that is in square brackets like this, it means it is a measure you calculated. It is something you derive on your own. So the way I do it, to know your measure, I usually open that square bracket first to show me all the measures that I've calculated, and I'll pick from there. And I'll pick from those measures. So that's what I usually do. But if you don't remember, just type the name of the measure, then it will bring it up for you. For what I usually do, I'll open this square brackets and I will see all the measures I've calculated before. It makes it very, very easy. In case you've done you've calculated lots of measures, it makes it easier for you. So I just click on revenue. Revenue is the one at the top. So look at the formula. That is so simple. You've typed divide and it's telling you how to use it. It said numerator. After it puts numerator, put a comma, then put the numerator, put the denominator, right? And it's telling you why you should use this divide. Save divide function with ability to undo divide by 0 case. So that sometimes if you just do, I can decide to do, instead of using divide, I can decide to do revenue slash bookings. I can decide to do it this way to give me the same answer. But there are sometimes when you have zeros in your value, maybe you are breaking down this calculation, and there's a case whereby one of the fields you are breaking them by has zeros. This one will not be able to handle it. It will just leave it blank. And you might be like, why is this thing blank? I don't know why. But divide can take care of that. Let me show you what divide will do. So if you use divide and you type the numerator is what? Revenue, we already know, comma. The denominator, can you see immediately I press the comma, it highlighted this denominator that the next thing you should put now is the denominator, right? Which is total bookings. I can close the bracket and say I'm done. I'll get my answer. But in case I meet conditions that there is no corresponding value for revenue divided by bookings,
what should I write? I can say, I can put what I want it to write for me in those cases instead of leaving it blank. So it makes it easier for those people that are seeing it. I can just put the result I want it to see, say alternate results. So you can put it in quotes. I can say no data. So in case, anytime you meet a situation, you encounter the situation whereby we don't have value, just tell me no data. So it's easier for business users to see that, oh, because if you work with business users, they can frustrate you. They will ask for, I remember one of these reports that I did. The company I joined, they're using a platform called Crystal Reports. I didn't know Crystal Reports before joining them. I know Power BI. So I had to quickly learn Crystal Report on the job. And when I came in, they were like, oh, they gave me a project. They want to build a Crystal Report for something, blah, blah, blah. I built a Crystal Report and I sent it to them. They were like, oh, yeah, so we've seen the Crystal Report. So the way I did it is to send an email to them automatically. So they'll be like, oh, I've seen the Crystal Reports, but the Excel, the rows are usually together. Let me show you the thing they mean. So you can see how annoying it, you can understand how annoying it is, right? So when you have, that sometimes you're working in Excel, you have something like this. You have something like this, right? The Excel will give you like this. Sometimes you just need to expand it yourself to be able to see the data in full, right? That is what they said. They said they don't want to be expanding it in full. I was angry, but I just it's a business. What will I say? I just kept quiet. What is there? Why can't you just expand this thing for goodness sake? They're like, oh no, we don't want to, we don't want to expand it. We just want it to appear well formatted. Crystal Report has that limitation. So what I did was to go back to Power BI. I created there's something called paginated report in Power BI. So it will give you results like in paginated form. When you say paginated form, it's going to look like something you can print on a single page. So I redesigned the report on Power BI and and Power BI is so beautiful that you can schedule a report that will send it to a particular email address, and you can set it to send it maybe every 7 a.m., every 10 a.m. It's so beautiful. You can do that with Power BI. You can schedule reports. So I just scheduled that report and sent it to them. And Power BI maintained the formatting, very, very beautiful. I didn't know Power BI could do that as well. So that it was an eye-opening moment for me as well. So business users can come up with so little requirements. You'll be like, this thing is not important, but it's very, very important to them. So in cases like this, instead of having blanks and you leave those business users in confusion, tell them no data. So they can easily see that, oh, there's no data in this particular case. So that's why you can use divide to give them messages in case they are empty, in case there are errors or things like that. So now RevPAR, let's view that RevPAR, right? Let's view that RevPAR, and the same way we don't want it to be in, maybe not in K. We want it to be in revenue. So we can take this, select this one, click on the format painter, and apply the brush here. So it's giving us in full, right? Revenue per customer is giving us in full, but we want it to be in dollar value, right? So how do I do it? I'll come to that RevPAR on the right side that I've calculated. Can you see? Currently is on general. I can come here and change it to currency, or just select this dollar on the side here, and to change it to what? Change it to currency. Awesome. And the last thing I want to calculate is what? Occupancy rates. And occupancy, because of occupancy rates, we are going to do two things. We want to know the number. If you look at this fact aggregated bookings table here, this is the last thing we're going to do, and we are done. Yeah, it could mean for that particular dimension you're looking at, we don't have information on revenue or bookings, or maybe we don't even have bookings for them. So it's possible. Yeah, that's what it means, Victoria. So now capacity rates means the sum of these total bookings divided by the sum of the capacity that we have here, right? That's the meaning of occupancy rate. And how can we do that? What we want to do, you want to sum up these successful bookings, right? You want to sum it up and divide it by the total bookings divided by total capacity. That's what we want to do for this occupancy rate. And I will show you how we can do that. So this is the last thing. Let's click on new measure. Let's call it a occupancy percent equal to sum of what? Successful bookings. Let me reduce it a little. Divided by sum of, what's that? How was it spelled? Let's see, facts, aggregated bookings. Sum of capacity, yes. So what I did the sum of this fact generate, sum of these successful bookings divided by sum of this capacity, right? The bookings that were made divided by the capacity that we have, that's the occupancy rate. And we won't use everything here anyway. So for example, we won't be using this ref bar. I just wanted us to see it. So let me delete it. We won't be using it here. I just wanted us to see it. So let me put occupancy rate here. 0.58, but it's supposed to be in percentage. So let me use this. And let's change it to percentage. So you select the occupancy percent. And send it to, no, it's not capacity divided by occupancy. It's not capacity divided by occupancy. There's no field called occupancy. It's successful booking divided by capacity. We now use it to get occupancy. Like, oh, what is the occupancy? Occupancy percentage means people occupying our hotels. Like we have 30 capacity, 30 room capacity, and we got 25 bookings. So our occupancy for this particular one is 25/30. Do you understand? So it's taking a sum of everything. So we are done. We are done with all the calculations. Now let's start looking at let's create that dashboard that we've all been waiting for. Okay. Let's see. So let's start to break down this. Okay, one more thing. I created this dimension dates table and I did not connect it. So we are connecting this thing to the check-in dates. For example, in this fact booking, there are different dates value. You might be confused. How do I know that I should connect this thing to check-in dates? From the requirements, we are looking at the data by the dates people checked in. Okay, but you can connect to all these other dates, and based on whatever need, maybe you want to calculate, you do want to do a calculation on, oh, how many people checked out this time around? You might want to use the checkout date, but these are advanced stuff that we'll cover in the class. So for now, we're just connecting this to the check-in dates here. And also this dimension data, so we connected it to these fact bookings. Let's connect it to this facts aggregated bookings as well. We'll connect it to check-in dates. So dates connected to check-in dates, one to many, awesome. We are done. So don't forget to go and connect that dim dates. Connect it to check-in dates. Dates to check-in dates for both tables, please. Dates to check-in dates on both tables. So you said you have formulas you have errors in your formula. Let me show you again. That's occupancy rate. Let me quickly do it again, right? What did I do? I did sum of what? Sum of successful bookings, right? Sum of successful bookings divided by sum of the capacity. Don't forget, it's sum of successful bookings divided by sum of this fact aggregated capacity. Then you close your brackets. This is how you do it. I'm going to leave it on the screen for like 10 seconds. Sum of this divided by the sum of this. And I'm going to put it in the chat for you to see. Okay. The next webinar that we're going to do, we're going to work with a very, very interesting data set. So I have two options. I'm thinking we should do real estate or prices of Bitcoin. I don't know if you guys are into crypto. We can even do a prediction. We can create a predictive model on what will the price be. So I'm yet to decide on which one of them we're going to do, but it's going to be another session. So at least if you complete this one, complete that one, you've done 2 solid projects that you can showcase on your LinkedIn. So when we are doing that one, what I would do, all the formulas that we're going to use, I would have prepared it beforehand and send it to you. But what I like to do when I'm teaching, I like to use the data that I like to use something I've not worked on before, so that we will stumble on it together and we'll approach it. I don't want to do what I've done before, right? I like doing it new. So if you make mistakes, we make mistakes together and find out the correct way. So that's how I usually like to work. It's usually natural that way. So you're not coming with something you already know and you want to start expecting people, you want to expect people to understand. So I like working on new things I've not done before. So I'm going to get the data sets, but we'll work on this together. So this is the formula for the occupancy rate. It's up here. Now, let's start working. First thing I want to do, want to see the total bookings by, if you look at our facts bookings, right? There's a place called booking platforms. People booked from different platforms offline. Where I was working before, we used to so we pay a lot of money for what's the name? Google. We pay a lot of money for Google adverts, for Bing adverts. You understand? So so we try to look at it. Oh, our customer, because I handle our search engine optimization part of the job then. So we want to look at, oh, our customers coming in. Are we getting more customers from Google? Are we getting from Bing? Or do we have customers that are entering directly? Direct, when I say direct customers that's typing the name of your address and coming. Those ones are the most valuable. They already know your address. They will type in the name by themselves. Or some people see that they just searched it on Google and they came in. So we will see, oh, all the customers that we got, we'll now break them down. How many came from Google search? How many came from Bing search? How many came from direct this thing? How many came? Maybe there are some websites that partner with us that advertise our this thing. How many came from them? So sometimes we want to see which platform is giving us more customers, so we can focus on those platforms and spend more money on them. If I spend the same amount of money and one is giving me 80% of my customers, it's only logical for me to pump more money in that one that is giving me. So these are things we do as a data analyst. You look at you look at all your customer sources. Which one is giving me the best rates when it comes to customer acquisition? Then you'll be like, oh, this one is giving me more than this, and I'm spending the same amount of money. This is what I'm going to do. So once you send that presentation to business will be like, oh, you're spending $100,000 on both these platforms. This one is giving me 80 customers every minute. This one is giving me 10. Let me reduce this one to $10,000 and pour the remaining money on this one that is giving me. It will give me more customers. But then again, it works, it will improve. But then again, there are some times when the search can only give you so much customers. After giving you all the quality customers, the remaining is just bringing jargons customer to you. That one is advanced stuff. Anyway, if you're into all this search engine optimization, you understand what I'm saying. And sometimes after finishing all the quality customers, it will just be throwing your search because it has met your quota with that place. It's not be trying to search to other directions. People that are not interested, just be bringing everybody to your website. Sometimes you don't spend so much. You can be like, oh, because I spent $10,000 and I get more customers. I spent $1 million to give me.
Coach, your audio, I think it kind of went a bit faint. Sorry about that. It went a bit faint.
Okay.
Better
okay,
now.
I think it's better now. So that sometimes you be like, oh, if I spend $100,000, I'm going to get 1,000 customers. Awesome. So let me spend $1 million so I can get 10,000 customers. It doesn't work like that sometimes. Sometimes after spending $1 million, you might not get more than 3,000 customers. So you don't want to overspend at times. So these are the analysis we do to guide those strategy around paying for marketing and everything. So data analysis is so wide. It's like magic if you really know how to query your data very well. So one of the questions is that they want to see the number of bookings from each of these platforms. Very, very simple. We've done the heavy lifting. We've calculated the total bookings. So let's break it down by platform. For this one, I want to use a bar chart, right? So bar charts, you can see, so I can't go into the details of all these bar charts here, but we're going to pick this clustered bar charts, but we also have this stacked bar charts. There's stacked 100% bar chart. We use them for different cases. But for this case, this stacked bar chart or this cluster bar chart would work. So this first one or this third one will work. So, and I just recommend you use this third one for this particular one. So what do you do? Very simple. Just select bookings. You see one bar. You're like, what's the meaning of this? Just calm down. Select fact bookings and go to what? Booking platform. Select it again. So can you see? It will now break down your bookings. Now we have to change this name. The name makes sense. Total booking by booking underscore platform. We have to make it readable. This is looking like this underscore is not really, it's not good for business users to see. You have to write it very well. And what I usually do, if you are working, make sure you use the same font size. At least limit it to 2. Don't have like 4 different font sizes on your reports. Don't use more than 2 font types. Okay. This font type is looking like Arial or Calibri. So make sure this one is not looking like the same. So make sure you use the same font size. We're going to clean up our data and make it look good. So as you can see, we can see the bar for each of these for each of our platforms. To see the data, so you can see the value and make it easier to read, you can select this, come to the middle here, right? And once you make sure you select it before you come to this middle, you now see data labels. It's currently turned off, and turn it on, and you can see from others. So others, maybe they have some other people, maybe they have so many platforms that it's too many to list. So they usually list the major ones and put the remaining into buckets that they call others. So for all the other platforms, it could be 1,000 platforms that make up these others, right? They have 55K. So depending on the business, they might know how they break down their own orders in their own parts. But anyway, we are going to work with the ones we can see. We can see Make Your Trip has 27K customer bookings. We got 27K bookings from Make Your Trip. From Log Trip, this is another platform, they got 15K. So you can see, will it be this journey called 8K? It wouldn't make sense to be spent if you're spending $10,000 on both of them. As you can see, these insights you've gotten from this data set will let you know that I'm wasting money, spending the same amount of money on these two. This direct offline means people that came to your hotel to book directly, right? So, but these other platforms, like this journey, maybe it's an online platform, this one's an online platform, it wouldn't be fair to be spending the same amount of money on marketing on both of them because this one is yielding more. So you can, what you do, doesn't make sense to just double the money. What we usually do from where I've worked before, we would increase, maybe we will reduce this one by maybe 5K. Maybe if you are spending $10,000 on both of them, I'll reduce this one to 5K and add the 5K here and see the increase. If I say, 27K increase to like 40 something K, I will still increase this one again. I can increase this one again by another 5K and say, it has increased to something. So you'll be increasing it gradually, until you get to a point that anytime you increase it further, you're not really seeing any growth again. You stop at that point. So if you're getting more customers, you'll be increasing it gradually. Don't just double your money or triple your money and expect the same number of customers. No. So you will take away from these ones and increase the other ones that are more productive gradually until you get to a plateau where you don't get the amount of money you're putting in is not equal to the number of new customers you're getting. So that's one strategy you can use if you are working for an e-commerce company, you are working for a marketing agency, or in this case, you are working for an hotel, for example. So we've broken it down by booking platform. Another thing is that they want to see, they said for each, where is this? For each, we like to see a weekly trend. Okay, we've not done that. How is our occupancy on weekdays versus weekend? Okay, show a breakdown of the metrics. That means all the metrics you calculated. Show the breakdown by all our properties. Okay, we've done this one. So now we have to show our occupancy. We want to see the occupancy on weekdays versus weekend. Do people come in more on weekdays or do they come in more on weekend? After that, we want to show a breakdown by all the properties and want to see a weekly trend of our revenue. Awesome. Let's quickly complete those 3 and we are done. We'll put together a beautiful dashboard and we are done. Just a second. So whenever you are comparing two things, for example, like this weekend, weekday, male, female, yes or no. Whenever you're comparing, you're using dimensions that have just two possible values. It's good to use what? A pie chart. It's good to use a pie chart. So whenever you're using pie charts, use pie charts for, and I'll show you why. Use pie charts for maybe 5 or less. If it's more than 5, don't use pie charts. I'll show you what I'm talking about. And when it comes to pie chart, there are two types. We have this pie chart, we have donut chart. For some reason, I just love using donut charts. I feel this pie chart is old. So I prefer this donut chart. It's practically does the same thing, but I prefer it over pie chart any day. So and I will show you why you don't use it for something that has many values. So let's see the occupancy rate. So you click on this occupancy rate. Make sure you select it before you click on it. Click on occupancy rate and let's go to dim dates. Under our dim dates, remember we calculated day type as weekend, weekday. So select it. As you can see, weekday is this blue one. Weekend is this purple one. Weekday is 48.54% occupancy for weekend. That means even people, this hotel has a higher occupancy on weekday than weekend. So analysis can even go further. Oh, why do we have higher occupancy in weekday versus weekend? I can now decide to break it down by different cities. That okay, let me see the occupancy by different cities. Is it that some cities are contributing more to weekday or weekend? It's possible you now break it down by city. Then by breaking down by city, you now see that it's the cities that are closer to maybe offices, maybe a city that is in a downtown environment. Those are the ones that have higher occupancy rate during the weekend. So you can see that, because the city is closer to downtown, maybe there are some people that travel in for meetings and they occupy they occupy those hotels. So you can, by doing further analysis, for example, they didn't tell me to do that. They've given me requirements, but as a data analyst, I can decide to go the extra mile and see, okay, why do we have weekday over weekend? Because normally I would think weekend should be higher than weekday. I can break it down by city and see. If I now say that, one city is contributing more to weekday than weekend, it's possible I find out that, this city is in a downtown area. People are coming for business meetings and everything. Some of them are flying in from other places. So those are the ones that contribute to weekday, higher occupancy rates in the weekdays. So you can see what data can reveal a whole lot about your business. And if you say that that city is making more money for you, they have a higher occupancy rate, you can expand your hotel and even have more rooms. And so you get a higher occupancy. Because some people, once they come once to your hotel and they say, it's filled up for that day, some of them will not come back again. So you can increase the number of rooms. So this is what data can guide strategy of different companies. With data, they can turn over like huge amount of money with data. So we've seen the occupancy rates by day type versus weekend versus weekday. Let's just reduce this a little. We have two more things to show. We have the weekly trend and we have the breakdown by all properties. So to show the breakdown by all properties, let me use this table. Let me expand this. Then we'll put together everything on the dashboard. You see how it's going to come out. It's going to look great. And please remind me to show you one more measure on ChatGPT before we end the class after this. So want to break it down by property. So let's go to our dim hotel. Let's see property ID. Let's see the property name, right? Let's see the property ID and property name. And they said they want to see all the metrics. So let's see the total bookings. Click on it. Click on total revenue. Click on revenue per bookings, occupancy, and average ratings. So these are all the metrics we calculated, and they want to see it for all the properties. So here let's expand it. You can see, for this property at Altic Grants, we had this total number of bookings. This was the revenue made. Revenue, that means each booking is worth around 11,437. So I don't like this number of decimal places that we're getting for RevPAR. It's too much. It's making the figure look so big, and it's not. So let's click on that RevPAR. and change this currently is on auto. Let's change it to what? 2 decimal places. Or let's just change it to 0. We don't even want any decimal. So it's better, it's better this way. So we can see, oh, they have an average rating of 4.25. The revenue per customer they're making, that means for every booking, each booking is worth around, from the 3,153 bookings that they had, they made $36 million. Now, this is a fictitious data. I don't know the hotel that each booking is worth each booking is worth $11,000. Maybe Burj Khalifa, but I don't know. Anyway, so each booking is worth $11,000. The occupancy rate is 65%, and the average rating is around 4.25. So even as a data analyst, you can even do more analysis and see, oh, let me see, is there a relationship between occupancy rate and average rating? You can just look at it, look at all your high occupancy rates and look at the corresponding rating. That, oh, it's possible you notice the trend that anytime you have high occupancy rates, you have better rating. So that means to improve our rating, let's improve our occupancy. You can see some of these things. You can see relationship between your data. That's what the exploratory data analysis part will. Now, they've not asked you to do that, but you can do more because you need to show your value if you're working in a company, right? You can do more and get more insights. Sometimes I can just take a screenshot of this because ChatGPT now has that capacity. You can upload pictures. I can take a screenshot of my reports, send it to ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT to do more findings for me or suggest more findings for me. ChatGPT will tell me other things I can look at, and I look at some of those things and get insights. I do that a lot when I'm working. So the last one is to show a weekly trend. And whenever you want to show trend, the best way to show trend is using line charts. Line chart is the second one you can see here. If you click on line charts, we want to show weekly trend of bookings. So if you click on bookings, first, and let's click on our dim dates and show this week number. Currently, it's just arranged, and we can see week 24, week 29. We want it to arrange it from the lowest week, maybe from week 19 to the highest week. So how do we do that? Click on that 3 dots here, right? Come to sort axis. Can you see? Let me zoom in so you can see it properly. Come to sort axis. Can you see that it's currently being sorted by what? Currently being sorted by what? Total bookings. No, we want it to sort it by what? Week number. So you change it to sort it by week number. Good. Now it's sorting it from week 32 to week 19. We want it to go from week 19 to week 32. So you click on that 3 dots again. Click on sort axis. Now it's sorting it by week number. You can see this check mark here. So it's sorting it in descending order. But now you change it to what? Ascending. And now we are done with all our requirements. Now let's put it in a dashboard. Okay, so let me click on new page to do a dashboard. Whenever I want to design the dashboard, I like choosing a color. So I want to use something around navy blue. So I can click on, I go to Google and say color palette for navy blue. This will help you, it will guide your design. So what does color palette mean? It means what colors can I use for all my visual that will go well with navy blue? Can you see this is a beautiful color palette? It's giving me all the colors I can combine together that will go well. And it can apply for your fashion too. If you want to dress, maybe you want to wear a navy blue pants. Like what color of shirt can I use? You can pick any of these colors. It will go well with your navy blue. Funny enough, I use this a lot too. Not just for Barbie, I use it for fashion as well. So you can select color palette. So you just don't use random color and your dashboard will be looking like rainbow. You want to use a very professional looking dashboard. So look at this color palette. It's looking so fine. These colors blend well with these colors blend so well with, just a second. Sorry. The sun is rising, it's getting straight into my eyes. Okay, so this color blends so well with navy blue. Another fine color for navy blue. Look at this one. This color is so fine, blends well with navy blue. I think I prefer this one. I prefer this one, right? I prefer this one. So let's use this one. So the navy blue, let me click on it. Maybe it's going to be larger. Yeah. The navy blue, this thing, we call it what? X code. We call this thing X code. Right? We call it X code. So can you see this hash 153? It's not very clear anyway, but you can put it on Google and do whatever, choose any whatever color palette you want. So this hash 153147, I'll show you how to use it. So let's go hash 153147. So I come here. First of all, I want to create a background. So I come to this place. I insert a shape. I want to show you how to design cost premium dashboard. Let's quickly do this. Let me put in this rectangle here. So let me quickly do that. Maybe I did that too fast. Come to insert and come to shapes. Pick this rectangle and select. I just want it to fill up the screen a little. Now I want to change the color to that navy blue that I saw. So I'll come to this under once the image is selected, see this shape, come to style, right? So for the design, I want you to watch me. Let me do the design. If you're trying to do the design after me, you might miss where these buttons are. So let's quickly go over the design so we have enough time to go over questions. I just want to complete the design in the next 15, 20 minutes. So come to this color. And now I can select navy blue, but it might not be exactly that navy blue that I'm seeing on the website. So what I want to do is to click on more colors. So once you select that color, click on more colors. So it's going to give you an option to type in the value of the color you want. So I'll go back to that website. The value is hash 153147. So I'll come to hash 153147. Good. So this is, I just immediately change to what? Navy blue. So this is the color I want. Flo, please quickly ask your questions so we can, I want to quickly go over the design. Then you can do question. Ask your questions.
Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. You said after finishing your dashboard and all that, and you want to check the trend, you can quickly ask ChatGPT for more explanation or for more.
Not for trend, like maybe you want to check more, want to do more digging on your data.
Yeah. So how do you do that, please?
Yeah, I said I'll show it towards the end.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so we have our background. So now that we have a background, I want to do something else. So I want to create something else here. So let's create another shape. So we want this one to be at the back, right? At the background. So what do we do? Select it, select the image, click on format, right? You see this, once you click on format, you see this bring forward, send backward. You can select this one. There's send backward, there's send to the back. Now, the difference between send backward and send to the back, if you say send backward, if there are two images, you just put one at the back of each other. But if they're like, you have like 10 images on top of each other, if you click on send to the back, whichever one you send to the back will go to the end of all the images. You're going to understand it when I start putting some other shapes here. So we click on send to the back. We want this one to be the background image. So let's click on insert and bring in another shape. Let's bring in another shape. Okay, one more thing. I want to do something else. Select this shape. Come to this shape again. Rectangle. It says rounded corners. Let's give it rounded corners of maybe 20%. Good. What does rounded corner means? Can you see? It has this rounded corners. I usually like it like that. I don't like that sharp edges. And you might not be able to see it now. Let me zoom in so you see it. You can see there's a border. There's a light blue border there. I don't want that light blue border. So you select the image again. Comes under this style. You see this place that says border. Turn off border. You see, I'm pressing a lot of buttons. That's why I said just pay attention. follow it. Let's quickly finish the design in the next 15 minutes or 20 minutes. So we can now, yeah, take questions. Good. So let me bring in one more shape, insert shape. All these ones are not necessary. You can even design your, but I want it to be presentable. Yeah, I want it to be presentable. So let's take a rectangle again. This time around, I want to place it here. I want to place it here. Okay. And also, I want it to have rounded corners, 20% as well. Okay, I want to have 20%, right? Then let's give the color white. And let's turn off the border. Good. It's starting to make sense, right? So instead of giving the color white, let me look at the color palette and let's see what we can use. I like to give it this color here, not white. Can you see this ivory here? I like this color. I don't want to give it white. I like this ivory. So this F9, F8, F7. Let's use that ivory color. So I can select it again. Come to style. Come to this color and click on more colors. And the color is F9, F8, F7. Right? Let's see. F9, F8, F7. It's not that. Let me use almond. The color is not that pronounced. Let me use almond. E4. So select it again. Let's select E8, E4. Yeah, I think I like this one better. Good. So the color is starting to come out. Can you see this is a color, a very fine color on a navy blue background? So that's what color palette does for you. It helps you say, instead of trying to see which color will go well, this will help you. So one more thing. I have how many things here? How many KPIs here? I have 4 here. I have this, and this. So let me quickly do some things that are going to make it make sense. So I can come here, come to insert shape. So I want this one to come forward. So I'll press bring forward and select this other one. I'll say send backward. So anytime you are maybe, for example, that small shape that I selected and this one has come on top of it, just come here and click outside. It will come back again. So this one is now in the top. Let's send this one back to the back. Sometimes you have this headache with Power BI. So you click this big one, want it to go back to the back. You say send to the back. Awesome. So this one is in front. Bring forward. Awesome. So this one, we need 4, right? So let me change the color of this one. Let me make it shape. Let's make it white. Let's turn off the border. Right. Let's turn off the border. And so now we have 4 of them. How do I know? How do I do it so that they have equal spacing and everything? It's very easy. You can select the 4 of them. Hold down your control button when you're selecting them, right? Come to this format, and you see this align, right? You say distribute horizontally. Horizontally is this way, vertically is this way. So I say distribute horizontally. If you click on it, it's going to equally space them. right? It's going to equally space them, but let me drag them down a little. I want to bring this down a little as well because we need to put headers for our. So let me reduce this a little. So maybe let me reduce the size. Let me reduce the size a little. So I want the size so it can accommodate everything. So it can select everything again and equally distribute formats, align, distribute horizontally. And if you want everything to be like you want everything to be, the example, look at where this one is. This one is kind of here. Maybe it's lower. You want everything to start on the same place. This is what you do. Select the first one you want. The one you want. The one you want the level to be used as a standard. Select it. Select everything. Come to formats, align, and say align top. And after doing that, we can distribute horizontally so that you can give them equal spacing. So this is good. What do we need? We need something for this and this, then this and this. So we can just use one. Let me make sure these ones have rounded edges as well. Okay, I think it's fine this way. Let's keep them rounded edges. Let's just give them like 15% rounded edges. Yeah. So I can take this one. Let me pick something like this again. Expand it. Then something like this. Expand it as well. Maybe this one. Let's take it here. This one, let's take it here. Then, so some people don't do all this. I like to do this because I mean, I enjoy designing, so I want it to make sense, right? I want it to make sense. Let me do that again. Good. So we've created all our placeholders. Now let's come in. Let's bring in these ones, right? So what I want to do, they have a white background. I want to turn off the background. So I've selected the 4 of them because they are the same thing. I'll select the 4 of them and come to this, I click on this place and click on general. Under effects, I can turn off the background, right? So let's copy, come here, and let's paste them. So immediately you paste them, select them, make sure they are at the forefront. Come to formats. On this bring forward, say bring to front, right? Select them. And I want them to use this navy blue color as the text format, right? So I can come to this. Now that they are selected, come to this middle, come to this callout value. And let's use that navy blue color because we recently used it. Can you see recent colors is there already? So we can select them and use that navy blue color. So let me reduce the font size maybe to 25. Let's reduce it to 25. Good. So let's bring them in one by one. Let's bring them in one by one. Total bookings. Total revenue. Let's reduce this a little. Average rating. This occupancy rate as well. Let me see if I can reduce it a little. Occupancy rate. So can you see? We've put in the key metrics there. Let me see if I can reduce this a little. Okay, good. We've put in the key metrics here. Awesome. Now let's bring in the other one. The same thing, let's remove the background of this one and let's change the line color. Let me bring it in. Let's select it, come to general, under effects, turn off the background, right? So I want this total bookings by week number. It's not a very good name. It's good to use the descriptive name of whatever chart you're using. So let's come to, under this general, come to title and use bookings, and say bookings weekly trend. Bookings weekly trend, right? That is good. I want to change the color to, so if you look at it, it has these dotted grid lines, right? I want to take away the grid lines. So under this visual, you see grid lines, turn it off, we don't want. And this is the line chart. So if you want to change the color, you go under what, lines, right? And you see color just at the bottom. I want us to use, what color can we use? Let's go back to that. Let's just play with the color. What color can we use this time around? I think I'm done with all these colors. Let's pick, I think I like this one. This AC8181, I like this color, AC8181. Let's pick it. So we don't want to use too many colors too. We don't want to use too many colors as well. Don't want you don't want it to appear too colorful as well. Especially maybe your company is not doing well and you are now playing with colors on your reports. They just take the anger out of you. So you don't want to.
You'll be working.
Imagine your company is not doing well. You're now doing color. They don't start with transaction. So you don't want to play too much with colors. Yeah. So yeah, so we already see bookings weekly trend. I don't want to have total bookings here, week number here. It doesn't make sense. We can already see it's week number. We don't, and we can note, and we from the title we know it's trend of bookings. So there's no need to have. Usually I don't use this. So it's subjective. You can do what you want to do, but I don't like having these things here, especially when the title is descriptive enough. So I'll come here, come to x-axis. X-axis is the one at the bottom, from, if you remember. So I don't want to turn off the whole x-axis off, because if you turn off every W19, everything you see here, to turn everything off. See, I don't want it. So what you want to turn off is the title of x-axis. So once you click on that x-axis drop down, you see title. That's what you want to turn off, right? And let's change the color of this text to that navy blue as well. So all this cleanup, because I'm talking, is taking time, but let me quickly go ahead and do all this cleanup. Y-axis as well, let's turn off the title, right? Let's turn off the title. The values, let's change the color to that same navy blue. And the title as well, the color of the text, let's change it to that same navy blue. So I think this is good. I don't know, for some reason, I'm deleting the grid. But I don't want to bother too much about that. I'm deleting the grid lines. I'm turning off the grid lines. But it's not working. Anyway, I don't want to waste time on this. Let me zoom out, paste it here. So this dashboard, so when I will tell you a story as I'm working on this, I don't want to waste too much time. So I don't be saying it as I'm working. When I joined this my new company, right? So I just completed a training on business analysis. So my data skill was supposed to be like a plus, but my data skill is the main is the main thing they're using me. They are using me like, you know, the way you use rainwater. Anyhow, that's the way they are using me. Every project that has this thing, they are putting me on it. And because I've shown my, capacity in handling things like this. A lot of the other analysts like me, they just have surface knowledge of these data skills, and I happen to know it a lot. So the day I recreate, they had a problem with Power BI, right? So I recreated the dashboard for them just to help them, just to troubleshoot. So after doing the normal dashboard, the dashboard was horrible. I'm telling you, any one of you here after today's class can create a better dashboard than that dashboard that they've been using. So after creating the dashboard, I just played with it and I did a normal. If you see the pie charts that the person did, oh my god, very horrible looking dashboard. So after troubleshooting it, I don't know, I can't call it OCD, but I can't just stay looking at that horrible thing. So after completing their task, personally, when I had some time, I now recreated the dashboard and I told them, in case you need some therapy for your eyes, this is another version of the dashboard. But I didn't know I was looking for trouble for myself. So all the dashboard for marketing, I had to redesign everything, because just doing something, I'm telling you what I did for that, because I did this in a short time. What I did was not as beautiful as what we are doing currently. I had to recreate all the dashboard. In fact, that was what I did for throughout that month, recreating dashboard and of course optimizing the dashboard in some places. So if you can design, if you know your data and you can combine it with UI UX, the way I'm showing you, and you go to color palette, go to everything, it makes your work neat, your presentation neat. People are always looking forward to your dashboard. So it's not just about the technical skills. You need to have other skills too, like, those ones that they're not concentrating on. Those ones will sell you. Anyway, I talked too much. Let's quickly go on this one. This one, I think this one is okay. Let's just change the color of the text to that navy blue. So let's click on this column headers. Let's change the color to navy blue. Let's go to style elements. No, specific columns. Property ID. This one is going to take time. Don't worry. Anyway, when you have time, you can change the colors. You can play with the colors as you want. Anyway, you might not even be able to tell the difference like that. Let me see. How many metrics did I calculate? I've included all the metrics. So let me increase the size. If I want to increase the size, if you click on grid, under these options, right? You can increase the font size. Let's see if it's too much. Okay, I think because I like it to fill up the space and not have, you know what, let me use 11 and increase the row padding. No, okay. Let me use 11.5, let's see. Okay, yeah, this is good. So this table does not have a title, so we can insert a text box. Come to insert here. Come to insert, come to text box, because we want to give it a title, right? So let's call it key metrics breakdown, or breakdown of key metrics by properties. Thing is that, okay, let's select all, change the color of the text. Let's use that same navy blue. Let's use a size 12. Let's make it bold and widen this a little. So it has a white background. We don't want to see that white background. So you come to general, under effects, one of the background, and come to. So can you see something is off? Look at this bookings weekly trend. Look at this breakdown. Can you see that this text is similar to this one, but it's different from this one, and you don't want that in your dashboard, right? So you change this, make sure they are using the same trend, and I kind of prefer this one on the top. So let's select this one here. Let's look at the title and see let's see what DIN is the name of the font. DIN size 14. Good. So I will come back to this. So that's how you work. Some people just say that their work is clean. You won't be able to say this is why the work is clean. You won't be able to pinpoint what exactly is clean, but it's is an accumulation of all these small things that they are doing together. So everything will now bring out a beautiful looking dashboard. Sometimes you'll be able to say, this is exactly what the person is doing. So I think I like this one, size 14. Good. Yeah. It looks like this one is still a bit bigger. So let's increase it a little. Okay, I use size 12. It's supposed to be size 14. So good. Yeah, looking good. Two more. Let's turn off the background very fast. I'm going to do this one very fast. Turn off the background. So it's very confusing because the occupancy rate is already in percent, and it's not breaking this down by percentage again. So it's not making, it's causing conflicts. You be like, which percent is this? Which percent is this? So I think we might need to turn off one of them. Maybe let's just show the breakdown. We know that we are breaking occupancy rates. So we don't need the value of the occupancy rates. We only need the value of this chart, right? So I'll come to this visual under data details. It's asking me, do you want to show the data value and percentage of total? I'll tell you, just show me percentage of total, right? Percentage of total is better. You don't need you to break it down. And occupancy percentage by date type. So I don't want us to spend too much time changing the title and everything. You can do that when you're working on it personally. This we need to make it smaller, and I don't want to reduce the, okay, we need to make this smaller. Okay, and the color as well. So we have to be consistent with the color. Let's see, you know what, let's bring it to the other page and give it the color that's going to blend in. Let's give it a color that's going to really blend in. So you see it's bigger than the space. Let's reduce it a little. Let me go to legend text, make it size 8. Yeah, size 8 is fine. The title. So for consistency's sake, I'm going to leave the size at title at size 14. Yeah. And let's change the title to navy blue, like we did for every other thing. But you can see how off this color is. I think I want to use this color, and let's play with the color. So because this is the pie chart, like a donut chart. Obviously, when we're working with line chart, when we wanted to change the color, we change it under line. This one will be changed under what? Slices. So you go to slices. Weekday is this color. I don't like this color. Let me use this one for weekday. No, let me use this one for, I like the other way around. This one should be this. This one should be this. So, and now, so this one is not very easy to read. So we have to look for something. Let's look at the color palette again. Let's look for, I think this one, I like this one better, right? I like this one better. This CFCECA. So I can come to this second one, come to more colors, and click on CFCECA. Yeah, I think I like it better. Yeah. So then the last one, this one as well, let's turn off the background. General effects, turn off the background. The title, total bookings by platform. Okay. Text color, let's change it to that navy blue. I want to turn off the title of the y-axis. Same thing, turn off the title of the x-axis. The values, let's change the color to navy blue. The value of the y-axis as well, let's change the color to navy blue. So you see how cleaning it up at times can be very stressful. And the bar chart, let's take this and put it here. So I need to reduce this a little. Let me see if we can reduce the font size of the y-axis. Let's reduce it to 8. That's kind of too small. So let's leave it at 9. Let's leave it at 9. Right? And but the color is not given. No, let's see if you can use navy blue for the bars. Let's see if it's going to work. I don't like it that much. Let's change the bars, change it to maybe this color. Yeah, I think it's just simple and fine this way. Like, no stress. I think it's good. I don't want this 0K. We already have the data labels here. We don't need all this 0K and the rest. So let's turn off the O. Let's turn off the x-axis. Yeah, I think it's better that way. And voila. So there's one thing that they've asked for that we've not included. Two things I want us to do actually. Let's come here, insert this a text box. Let's just assume it's Q3. You can say, let's just say quarter end performance summary. What's the dashboard without the title? So let's use that same DIN for consistency's sake. Let's make it maybe 20. And let's use something that will let's use no background. And let's use white. Yeah, this is beautiful. And so if you want to filter, let's put in some slicers. So to get slicers, you come here under this space. So it's the 5th row. You see some slicers, and I'll show you what slicers can do. Let's put in maybe dates for the slicer. So you can have a date range like this, right? You can have a date range like this. Let me reduce. Can we reduce this size? Slicer header. We don't want slicer header, right? Can we reduce the values of the slicer? Let's see if we can reduce the slicer. Slicer is too big. Can we reduce the size of the slicer? So I don't want the slider, yeah. Okay. So can you see that anytime I'm working, when I did this title, you see I made it align with this. See, that thing is so fine when you just come in, everything is well aligned. It makes sure that everybody. Look at this one, I'm making it aligned with this other part, right? So we can turn off the background as well, but we need to make it visible. So come to the values. Let's change it to maybe white. Yeah, let's change it to white. So people can come here and filter this thing based on dates, whatever dates they want. So it looks like a normal calendar version. So we can see it. Oh, if I say I want to see it for this particular year, and it's going to filter this based on the particular year. So they also ask for some other slicers. So I can click on more slicers. I'm just going to do 2 slicers here that we are done. I'm just going to do 2. So you can do more as you want. So let's put in a slicer for city. So under Beam Hotels, I can click on city. I'm going to clean it up now, but look at it. If I want to see only for this Delhi, if I click on here, it's going to reduce it's going to see click on it again to show the full value. Now we have 134 bookings in total. If I click on Delhi, let's say we want to focus on Delhi alone, New Delhi. If I click on Delhi alone, it's going to show everything, but only for Delhi. And if I want to show for 2 cities at the time, just hold down your control key and select both of them. So it's showing for Delhi and Hyderabad the same time. So this is the work of slicer. So I can put this one here. I can change the slicer type. This is currently like a checklist. I can select the slicer, come here, and change it to maybe a drop down, right? Like a drop down. Let me reduce it a little and maybe turn off the background. Turn off the background of the slicer. Let's change the values to white and the slicer header. Let's change it to white as well, or maybe this light ash. Yeah, I like it this way. So this one I can also select it. So and maybe I want to see it by maybe for different platforms, or maybe yeah, whereas platform is here, or yeah, platforms I can check here. Okay, first remove the city because I copied and paste and just click on platform. So booking platform, I can say, oh, I want to see only this thing for direct offline. It's going to show me all the data only for direct offline. Can you see that this bookings by platform is already showing me that this is direct offline? If I change this to journey, it's going to show me only for journey. So this is how you can filter your data. So this is our dashboard. Usually your company logo, you put it here. And there are ways you can even make this dashboard look better. You can get logo, for example, and add logos to this, and it makes your dashboard look good. So I'm not going to waste a lot of our time. This is a beautiful looking dashboard for any level. You can take a screenshot of this, put it on your LinkedIn. You can tag me as well. I'll be happy to comment and yeah, comment on it. You can take a screenshot of this and talk about how you've designed this dashboard to fulfill the business requirements of a company, how you did ETL, data modeling, you wrote DAX formulas and everything. So let me just show you one thing, then we'll stop the class immediately. Look at this. You have this data dictionary, right? I can say, I can copy the data dictionary here, everything. It's better when I have this data dictionary. I can come to ChatGPT. I can come to ChatGPT here. So I'm providing you, right? I am providing you a data dictionary for my Power BI projects. Just acknowledge, like don't do anything here, just acknowledge it. So I paste the data dictionary here, right? So to respond to me that acknowledge you provided the data. I said just acknowledge. This Power BI, this ChatGPT likes so much. Yeah, I just acknowledge, finish. Okay, let's go to where we are going. Let's say provide the formula, the DAX formula. So you have to mention that it's DAX, right? Before it gives you Python code. Provide the DAX formula for total bookings. Do you know why I pasted the formula here? Because do you know why I pasted the dictionary here? I want it to use the same column name. So I won't have to copy the formula and be trying, because if you don't put data dictionary there, to tell you table 1, column 1, you now be looking for the table, changing the table names to what is on your data sets, the column names to what is on your data sets. So I like pasting the data dictionary here. So it will use exactly the same thing. So what you just need to do is copy this formula that ChatGPT has given you. Can you see the same thing with the formula we generated? Come here. Come to Power BI, right? Right, click on new measure. Let me call it, because we've named our own, we've created something for total bookings before. But anyway, let's see. Let's paste it here. Total bookings, let's call it total bookings 2. Right, let me call it total bookings 2 and enter. Let's go to our page 1. Let me bring this thing here. Look at our total bookings 2 that we calculated with ChatGPT formula. Let me use the same formats. This one. And this is exactly the same thing. So you can have all the questions that they asked you. Eh? See, let me even show you. If I copy all these questions that they've asked here, all those calculations, copy it here. Get all these metrics. See, ChatGPT will see everything. It will give you all the formulas. You just copy and paste. And you don't even have to rack your brain on how to calculate. Look at that divide that I showed you guys now for occupancy rates. ChatGPT even went ahead to do it by 100%. So you don't even have to convert to percentage on your own. So can you see that ChatGPT is smart enough to know that it's revenue divided by bookings. So you can get whatever you want using ChatGPT if you know how to prompt it very well. So these are the things. I'll teach you how to use ChatGPT for SQL. So I know some of you that are afraid of programming SQL now, ChatGPT can come to your rescue if you know how to prompt it directly. So, but anyway, ChatGPT cannot design for you now. So that's why your design skills must be good as well. So you must know how to learn. So these are the human parts that ChatGPT will not be able to do for you. But anyway, in a matter of a few years, I know other AI platforms will come. You just give it the data to design beautiful dashboard for you. In fact, you can even with Copilot itself, this Copilot here, Power BI service, just give it the data set, tell it to design dashboard for you. It will give you beautiful dashboard. The color might not be as fine as your own, but it will give you dashboard. You don't even have to do anything. Everything is now very, very easy to do. So I will take questions, and Michael, if you want to address everybody, please, this is the end of the class. I want you to reproduce this. You can even go use another different color palette and maybe something different from mine and produce something beautiful. Let me see on LinkedIn. You can add me on LinkedIn. My name is follow the Skill Garage, right? The Skill Garage. Then you can look at me on LinkedIn as well. I'll happy to make comments on your post and see whatever you're doing. So I will take questions, and I'll take questions from you. If you have any questions. I see hands up. Sorry, I don't. Olakunde. Is it Kunde or did you do a mistake? Olakunde.
Olakunde.
Okay. Olakunde. Oh, sorry. So sorry about that. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you for the hands-on approach, practical that you let us know now. Thank you very much. So,
Yeah.
though I joined late, but I want to ask a question: that will there be opportunity for us to get the documents, the files, and the video so that we can practice it?
Yes. Yes. The question is going to be. I said the question. I'm trying to see somebody asked the question. I'm just trying to see. So the question is just going to, the video is going to be made available. A YouTube link will be sent to you guys, and you would see so you can easily follow at your own pace and request this. So yeah, a YouTube link will be provided. On us,
Olakunde.
is that from before? No. I thought I've answered your question, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So Victoria, please, you have a question?
Hi, Coach. Thank you very much. So my question is the two of them. First is on the dashboard here, when you initially had the total bookings, rectangle there, I know in PowerPoint, you can just click on it, Control D and duplicate to get another, but how did you go about getting from one of the rectangle, splitting it into three?
So it's the same thing. What I did was, right? Let me show you. Let me just do it on one page. Control C. Let me come here. It's not the same. This Control C, right? I copied it
So
and
it's actually
pasted it
copying,
here.
right? Okay.
Yeah, I just pasted it like the way you copy and paste in Microsoft Word.
Okay,
That's what
cool.
I did.
Okay,
I just copied and pasted it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. I want to clarify. Second question. I see that you mentioned, I hear that you mentioned a lot of using ChatGPT prompts and all for security reasons where your company data is not exactly very, you don't want to be out there if you're working for the FedGov and all of those.
Very, very, very good question.
Yeah.
So what you will do, there's something they call masking data. You will create fake names, fake table names. Or you don't even have to create table names. Just say, I have a table with a column called this. How can I calculate this? It will give you the formula. So you now know how to change that. Oh, instead of ChatGPT will give you table 1, You now know that you know the name of your table, right? For example, this is fat bookings. So wherever you see table 1 in ChatGPT's formula, just copy and paste it in table 1. Then the name of the column, the name of the ChatGPT will probably use column 1. Just replace the name of your column with column 1, and it will work for you fine. Because data governance too is very, very important. You don't want to be posting your company's data out there. Do you understand? Then again, you are posting, for example, if your company has Copilot, right? Copilot, you can use Copilot in that case. Sure, you understand? You can use Copilot to write the formulas too. Oh, give me this, give me the Copilot is actually built by Microsoft, so it's easier to even ask questions. But I'm just using this because I don't have Power BI service. I don't have Power BI service here, so see, I have to log in with my email address that has a Power BI service account. So that's why I'm using ChatGPT. We can even use Copilot to do everything we've done with Power BI. So gone are the days where you need to know formula, know code before you can become a data analyst. Now, know the basic stuff. Be a pro at prompting ChatGPT and most of these AI tools, and you'll be surprised what you can do. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Flo. I've asked you to unmute. Yeah.
Hello, sir. Please,
Yeah,
I also have
I think you've been able to show me the, sorry, maybe I didn't keep my hand down. You'll be able to show me how the ChatGPT can answer.
Oh, awesome.
So I didn't put my hand down, sorry. Thank you. So for this, I can't hear you. Can you hear
You're
me?
muted, coach.
Oh, sorry. So Olakunde, is that a new question? I lowered your hand before.
Yes, sir. New question, sir.
Okay, please go ahead. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I've used the Zebra BI before on
Which one is Zebra BI
Microsoft.
into your law?
So
Which one is Zebra
on
BI
Microsoft.
again? You guys have come on. I'm just joking. Please go ahead.
All right. So one of the challenges I have with Zebra BI was that whenever my system is not connected to internet, so my dashboard won't display. So I want to ask that what you've taught us now, is it with connection with internet?
No. This is Power BI desktop. You don't need internet connection to do anything.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Once you have your data on your system, you can work. It doesn't rely on internet. Yeah. Michael, are you here now? Do you want to address everyone?
Oh, yes, I'm here. All right.
Okay,
Thank you,
please.
everyone. I hope you guys can hear me. I hope you guys can hear me. All right. If you want to stop sharing your screen, that's fine. We can just
Yeah, I want to.
with all right. So this is just first in a series of the webinars we'll be doing. Like I said, one of the things that we have realized is, like, I was on the call yesterday with someone and they were, asking me, how do I know what I want to do? Right? So we had a conversation. I walked her through certain traits, certain things that you need to look out for that could help point you towards a particular direction, can help you point towards business analysis, can help point towards product ownership, product management, data analysis, what have you. But there's also a cheap alternative, to this, which is what we are doing now, giving you the opportunity to have first-hand information, first-hand experience with these things. And that's the reason why we do these free sessions, right? Not as though we can't charge for them, but we know that sometimes it's, there's too much information, there's information overload out there, and you need to be able to, just walk your way through this information to be able to know what works for you, right? And that's why we're doing this session. So we'll be doing another session next week, same time, I believe. Coach, it will be same time, right?
Yes, same time.
Okay, so for those of you who didn't have the opportunity to probably download Power BI and all of that, you now know that you should prepare for the next one, right? And you can follow through, and we will upload the recordings so that you can go back and look at it. That way you now know, okay, should I go for the bootcamp or not? You see, is this something that I would like to do? And if it is something that you would like to do, then you can proceed. We will be having The data analysis bootcamp coming up. Let me get you the date now. Just give me a minute. I'm gonna fetch you the exact. I don't want to give you the wrong dates because there's a lot of things, piled up for this month. So I'm just gonna give you the right date. It's the 26th. Yeah, it's the 26th, and we'll have sessions for those joining from Europe, Africa, and those joining from North America. We'll have, we'll give you the dates. Now, if you want more information, and like I said, we have some part scholarships available. Typically, the bootcamp is about 1,890 Canadian dollars. However, we have some partial scholarships available for you. So you need to book a call with us one-on-one, and then we can have those conversations. Now, it's not just data analysis, it's business analysis and some of the other courses that we offer. Because good gracious, some of our alumni pay these things forward. So they've decided to pay for some of you. So we can look for an even way to split that money across those of you who are interested. And then this is for those of you who are first timers, new students. Please book that call, and somebody's going to meet with you, either Amma, Queenie, or myself. If I'm available, we'll sit with you and walk you through. And for those of you who are still confused, you don't know where to go, we have a session. Book that session. We will also discuss that and then be able to give you clarity as to where you can go. This is the cheapest way to find out what works for you, right? Instead of investing a whole lot of money and then discovering that that was not the path for you to take. All right. There are several gaps that you need to fill when it comes to that successful transition to tech. Several gaps. There's the gap of knowledge. There's the gap of experience. All right. There's the gap of job discoverability and readiness. There's the gap of networking, and there's the gap of support. You see, all of these gaps are gaps that you need to, close for you to be able to, make that successful, seamless transition to tech. And we are here to help you close all of those gaps every step of the way. So book that call with us, and we'll be able to give you even more information. For those of you who took some time out to join us today, thank you so much. We did this because of you, and we are grateful that you all came out to learn. So next week, we will also, like I said, have the same. And look out for those of you who haven't joined us on our social media channels, please do so on Instagram, on YouTube. Like, the recording for this class will be uploaded latest tomorrow. Okay, latest tomorrow you have it, and we'll also send an email to you to let you know that it's been uploaded. If you are not in our community on WhatsApp, please join the community on WhatsApp. I'm going to send you the link right now. Just give me a minute. That way is the easiest way for you to get any form of communication. So I've sent that in the chat. Please join the community on WhatsApp. As soon as the video is ready, we will let that. And for those of you who are already students, you have automatic 50% discount. All right. Automatic 50% discount to the course already. So, you can take advantage of that. What else do I need to say here? There's some webinars you need to look forward to. We are planning a webinar on interview prep, pre-work, how to distinguish yourself and things like that. Initially, I wanted to make that a closed door session, but I'm going to make it open. I'm going to make it an open session. So look out for that. Join the community. In case we're not going to be advertising it, you will be able to see it. And that's the essence of joining our community. All right. I hope I said everything I needed to say. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Send us a message on WhatsApp. Send us a message on Instagram. Whatever channels it is that you can reach us on, we will definitely find a way to get back to you or respond to you. Am I missing anything, Coach?
No, so like I just want to add, get this, so don't let it pile up. Quickly watch the video once the video is out. Build this one, so you'll be ready. And any mistake you make, I'm sure you will have questions. Okay, so once you go through the video, you have questions. You will take questions the first 15 minutes of the next class.
Of the
Address your
next one,
questions,
thank
then-
you.
Yeah, so I'm going to address your questions. Then we'll do again. So you have 2 solid projects already by attending these 2 webinars. Sure, you understand. So please, make sure you do it this week so it doesn't pile up. Yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
Cool, cool. And then when you're posting on LinkedIn, please tag us. Please do tag us. Tag Coach Olugbemi, tag myself on LinkedIn, wherever it is that you're posting this, please do so. We will really, really appreciate it. The more you are helping us grow, we can also do more for you, right? You know, for those of you who have been with us for a long time, you know, sometimes we do 6-week session of Power BI Excel for free. For those of you who've been with us for a while. So the more we grow, the more we are able to also give you things. But yesterday I was still speaking with one of my our partnerships coordinator on how we can get grants for a lot of you to join these sessions, because we know things are getting a bit tougher for most people. And you know, trust me, one of the reasons why we started the Skill Garage is because we don't want to see people live below their potentials. One of the things, the huge things that hit me when I got to Canada was seeing people that look like me living below their standards. I hate that. It irritates me. And that is nothing against the menial jobs, nothing against survival jobs, but it's a good start, but you don't have to stay there. You don't have to stay there, right? So, you know, we will do our best. We'll continue to do our best to see that we can emancipate as many as are willing to get out. And as much as we can do, like we are offering art scholarships now, as much as we can do to also assist you during this time, we will do our best. You know, there's a limit to what we can do, but we will definitely do our best to help you, you know, transition into tech. We've done it for the past 3 years, helped more than 150 people, and we're still counting. In fact, I got a very wonderful success story just early this morning, and we'll be posting that on our channel. So thank you so much, everyone. We will definitely see you by God's grace next week. And in between that, there may be some other webinars and free sessions. So please join the community, and I'd love to see you on those sessions. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. For those of us in Canada, it's a long weekend. So it's Thanksgiving weekend. Enjoy the weekend. Make sure you eat your turkey and share with your neighbors. All right. Bye now. And I'll catch you guys later. Bye, everyone.
All right. Bye.